Mic check, mic check. Can y'all hear me? Everybody put leaves in the chat if y'all can hear me right now. Leaves in the chat. Are we coming in clear? How does it look? It's gonna be a hell of an episode, man. I'm definitely looking for. I wish I could have heard some of the stuff we were discussing backstage.
It was so good.
It was good.
That should have been the show.
That's a fact. But yeah, that's a bet. That's a bet. I see y'all, man. Where we at on likes, man? Shout out to all the Crusaders in the building. We appreciate y'all. Mars, I see y'all. Jay Anna May, Mike Dub in the building. You know what I'm saying? Salute to all of the Mars in here patrolling and keeping shit in order. Salute to all the Crusaders that back again, showing love as always. We appreciate y'all, man. We got a hell of a panel tonight, as always. I'm gonna go ahead and take the time to introduce these amazing people. First and foremost, we have Miss B Taylor in the building, rocking with us tonight.
Hey.
We got Miss Saida in the building, rocking with us tonight.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you good.
Okay.
Miss Kelly Culture in the building, rocking with us tonight. Miss Queen Sheba is back again, rocking with us tonight.
No.
Oh yeah, energy already. I like it. Last but not least, D Ricky Williams in the building.
What's happening?
Chilling, man. I was looking for the sound effect. I thought you was gonna go to hit it.
I know.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is.
There we go. Well, yeah, man, it's gonna be a hell of a conversation. We're gonna discuss what I feel like is the most divisive aspect of relationships in this era, man. So we're gonna talk about communication.
Sure.
We're gonna get to talking about communication, but first
Or
and
lack
foremost,
thereof.
or lack thereof, or miscommunication. Which I feel like is most important. But real quick, man, again, I want to salute to all the Crusaders in the building. Y'all showing love already. Booker Ronan is in the building. Showing love very, very early. We appreciate the G. What else we got in the building? E Black TV is in the building. Salute to bro for popping in with us and showing love.
I need the sound effect.
That's a fact, man. Again, salute to bro, man. Salute to everybody that's in the chat getting ready to rock. And it's gonna be one of the ones, man. Before we get started, how's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling? It is kind of late at night. I know, people got jobs and
I'm
things of that nature.
I'm feeling great.
I'm wishing I had whatever Queen Sheba was drinking right now. I saw that.
Yes, that's a little bit of Cabernet, but I wish I knew what was in that box that the crew brings to the set. I've been trying to figure that out like ever since the last live. So what is that y'all are drinking in the box?
Yeah, I've been
And where do
wondering
you
the
find
same
it?
thing.
Because I haven't
Yeah.
been able to find it.
Well, look here. It's funny y'all ask, man. Salute to B-Box, man, in the building, man, for showing us all the love in the world. This is an amazing partnership that we have with B-Box. Salute to them. That is a wine. It's 11% alcohol, but it's flavored. So they have blue raspberry, they have pink lemonade, they have peach, they have fruit punch, and it literally, like, if I had to, like, I guess describe how it tastes, I would say it's like a cool cup with an alcohol kick.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like, but again, it sneak up on you. Each one of those bottles is like 3 servings. So people be thinking like, oh, what they up there sipping juice or whatever. But if y'all notice, the later it get in the pod, the more contentious and the more animated.
We start
But where do you find
This
them?
one for me and my weekend on Friday night because that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dope. You can they actually have a store locator, so you can just type in B-Box store locator, and then it'll let you know everywhere that it is. By you, I think you type in your zip code or whatever.
Yeah, it's available at most adult beverage stores, so you can cop it on.
Awesome.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to get some next live.
I'm gonna pick up some this weekend and see what they do after this wet. I gotta do so.
I'm gonna have some next live too. I promise.
Yeah.
I might not be drinking it, but I'll definitely have a box.
That's good enough, man. Salute to B-Box. Although we got royalty in the building. Salute to Miss Toya in the building, showing us love with the 10-piece early. We appreciate you for sure.
What's up with you, sis? How you doing?
Yes, sir. That's family right there. That is Yasi in the building with the 50 piece. Boys is coming in early.
Yeah.
Got it started. What up, G? We appreciate you, bro. That's love for real. We ain't even got into the bag yet, bro. That's the thing, man. You know, the Crusaders is rich. That's one thing that I'm noticing, man.
They're about that bag. I see that.
Bruh, by doing these live streams, the Crusaders is rich on the real. Brolic Sean in the building with the 5-piece. We appreciate you, gang.
Yes.
Tapping in with us, man. It's gonna be one of them ones, man. I can't wait to, because the first question I asked, we just gonna get right into it. I can't wait. Jason C in the building with the 5-piece. So I think this one's going viral. I got a feeling. It just might, man. We're gonna see how this thing go, bro. It just might do that.
And Saira got her Yeti cup, so you know she got something in there. So it just may go viral tonight.
It's just coffee. I'm a little sick, so I'm gonna excuse myself, like in advance. You know, I might be sneezing or coughing a little bit.
I hope you feel better.
Feel better.
That's a fact.
Thank you. I don't know. I don't want to.
Some stuff to take for. Like,
it might be COVID. I don't know. I don't want to get tested.
Oh Lord, we gonna rebuke that in the name of
don't go to the hospital. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't go to the hospital.
That's a fact.
I had it like back in June, so if I have it again, it's gonna be like what?
Oh no. Hey, salute to Booker Ronan in the building with the 20-piece early. That boys ain't playing no games, man. We appreciate you, bro. He says our communication is trash due to a lack of respect, divorce from reality, gross entitlement, allergic to accountability, selective outrage, hearing uncomfortable and being holes of quantity versus mutual pillars of quality. That is definitely one of the issues.
The Book of Ronan sounds like he wants to come on the panel.
Is that a challenge?
It's a little early.
Yeah, we definitely gonna open up the floor tonight. Like I said, I've been trying to, keep us at a decent time so we have time to open the floor. But we're not doing another 4 hour, man.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Okay.
359.
345.
As long as it ain't 4, that's a fact. All right, man. Let me see where we. Oh, hold on, real quick, man. Brianna in the building.
What's up, Brianna? What's happening?
With the 20 piece. We appreciate you, Brianna.
What's good with you?
It's Brianna in the building. But yeah, so I think we where we need to be on likes. Hold on, let me see if bro ready to come up. The man himself is here, man. Smooth is in the building.
What's happening, my people? What's happening, my people?
What's going down?
How you doing, G?
I'm good, man. Shit. House clean, the cleaners came. Shit. Good meal.
Great.
Yeah, everything all right.
Life good right now. Yeah.
That's a fact, man. The dean himself is in the building. I think where we need to be on likes, man. I think we had 100 plus. So salute to y'all. Y'all damn job today, boy. Salute to the Crusaders in the building. All right. Well, let's dive right in here, man. The first question I got, I was reading a book, and one of the quotes in it was, it's often the one you love most who's the hardest to communicate with sometimes. So when y'all hear that, I'm gonna just give it a second to process. It's often the one that you love the most who's the hardest in the world to communicate with sometimes. When y'all hear that, what comes to mind?
That's true. I think it's true for sure. I wouldn't take advice when I was younger. I wouldn't take advice from none of my family, and I would take advice from a stranger over my family. I don't know why. I just didn't. I felt like they were judging me when they told me something, and it came from a place of judgment because they knew me so well. And instead of someone who's on the outside looking in, instead of someone that's inside trying to tell me about myself. And it's crazy because it sounds like the complete opposite, but that's very true.
Yeah, I think it's more like, especially when it's the people you love and that you're around, because they flaws. You know what I mean? They're more exposed. And that comes down to messages and messenger. You know what I mean? It's hard for you to take advice from somebody you've seen get it wrong. Right, but like we was talking in the back, the truth should ring in your ear no matter who say it. Right. Part two is that again, fear. You scared a person gonna feel a certain way, or not love you the way they, I ain't gonna even say the way they do, but the way you perceive them to do, because you not listening, or you scared to put some information to them that really got to hit that got to hit home. So I think it's a combination of a bunch of those things.
Queen, what you think about that? The person that you love the most is typically the hardest in the world to communicate with.
I agree. It's definitely a challenge. It reminds me of the old saying, a prophet isn't honored in his own home.
That's exactly the scripture I was thinking of.
Come on, Kelly.
I see you.
Back me up. And that's from the choir. So Kelly's preaching from the choir. It's hard to make an impact in your home. It's very hard. So I agree with B. Taylor and Ricky.
Miss Kelly, since she dove in with the cosign, I take it that you agree with it.
I was writing my point down. Okay.
Oh, okay, you good. Saida, you got something ready for it? When you hear that person you love the most, it's hardest to communicate with.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out why is it hard to communicate with the people you love? You shouldn't, but I guess it's because you love them so much and you try to understand them. And you know that not everybody is the same. We don't communicate the same way. Even with your family members, you can see you don't communicate the same way with your kids or your parents or your sisters, your siblings. You don't communicate the same way. You're trying to figure out, everybody's drinking tonight. You try to pretty much understand, right? The person and whatever point you're trying to make with the person is just trying to understand is the hard part, I would say, and the way of every person communicates. Yeah,
I agree. Smooth. What you think about that quote, bro? The person you love the most, typically the hardest to communicate with.
Man, I think it's just we be protecting their feelings. You get what I'm saying? Not trying to put our bullshit on them and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to deal with it solo. It's hard to open up to somebody and them not weaponize it, bro.
Bro,
you go through your whole life dealing with people that do that to you, and then when you finally meet somebody and she's saying or he's saying the right shit about it, but it's hard to let that guard down. That take years of going through things to get that shield down.
So
yeah. Go ahead.
I wrote my point, so I can wait.
Oh, you ready to give them right now?
I'm ready, but I can wait. I can go.
Oh no, you good? Go ahead.
So I was just thinking about like work versus home, and I just feel like we don't respect the people that are closest to us. Like, for example, if someone at work were to give you advice, they don't know you as well as the person at home. So why do we disrespect, or even in the way we react to the people that we love? I think it's because we know they're always going to be there. We know they're always going to have our backs. They're going to support us. So we don't give them that same amount of respect as you would give someone that's fleeting. Why? I don't know. Because it's like you know they're going to be there for you. So you don't have to show them that much respect. But I don't know why. Like you would think that you would listen to the person that knows you best. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I'm still thinking. I'll be back.
It kind of like brings me back to a book I read before. It's called The Four Agreements. It's like one of the things that, or the agreements is that do not take anything personally, which is very important because nothing that others do or say has nothing to do with you. And sometimes the way that other people communicate has to do with how we take things. And, the problems and trauma and, things that the other person has. So it's about us protecting ourselves, but also how our words can impact on other people and how we use our words, negatively or positively. So that also matters when we're communicating with people.
I would agree, man. I think just speaking from a male perspective, it's hard to communicate with our woman because in our head, we think our woman sees us as a superhero. So if we communicate, express vulnerabilities, maybe things that we may want, maybe things that we're not doing, or we feel that we're not doing well, then she's going to see a chink in our armor. per se. And that right there is hard to deal with, you know, and that's just in the relationship aspect, you know, because man, when we come into relationships, man, like we put so much on our shoulders, and you know, I don't think women understand, you know, exactly how much, and that's why we are so hesitant. And I spoke on this a bit earlier. That's why we're so hesitant to get in relationships, because we know what we're signing up for. We know what's going to come with that. We know it's a bunch of responsibility, you know, as far as taking care of you, being your cover, and taking care of our kids. You know, we are the fall guy if this thing goes wrong. It's always us. It's always our fault. So that's a lot to carry, and that's a lot to sign up for. But what we don't realize is that, again, our partner is there for us. Like, she's a helpmate. She gonna ride if you done chose the right one. Let me reiterate. If you done chose the right one, her seeing chinks in your armor is not gonna make her see you in any less of a fashion. If anything, she gonna, you know, see if any way that she could at all help to kind of fix the issue that you're going through. You know what I'm saying? But again, men are so pride and ego driven that it's hard for us to accept that sometimes. Because again, even us accepting the help in our head is showcasing another chink in our armor, and we want to seem perfect to the person we love. You know what I'm saying? We want to, you know, we want to stay on that pedestal that you hold us on. So if we communicate and we express something the wrong way, or we may let something that's a little too vulnerable out, we terrified of what the repercussions of that going to be. I think, you know, Smooth spoke about it earlier, even it being weaponized against us. We terrified of that as well. Because if you can weaponize that against me and harm me, then I'm not superhuman no more. I'm not on that pedestal that I think that you have me on anymore. So I think, you know, perception of ourselves play a big role in us not communicating properly. And again, that's from a male perspective. And this could translate to our friends if we're gonna be honest. I don't think we communicate with our friends. Again, speaking from a male perspective, I don't think we communicate with our friends as much as we need to either. You know, men are so like low maintenance, right? Like even when we're going through some of the hardest shit in the world, we'll come around our friends and we'll stick our chest out. Like it ain't nothing going. Nah, bro, I'm good, bro. I'm good. Meanwhile, this man just got divorced from his wife for 15 years, lost his kids in the custody battle. You know, job is on the friend. He ain't happy with his career. It's just a lot of shit going wrong, right? And we'll come around that friend group. They say, "Bro, you good, bro? I know you." Nah, bro, I'm good, bro. I'm good. But be crushed on the inside. And why? It's because we don't want to seem weak to the game. Like we don't want to seem less than. We want to be that. Like when people look at us, we want them to see that person that we are most of the time. And you know, fact is that we can't be up all of the time, and that's a hard pill to swallow for men specifically.
So you're speaking more about like vulnerability. I guess I read this more like giving constructive criticism or receiving it from a person that's closer to you.
Nah, but even that is expressing chink in the armor. Let's say, for instance, right, like if we give a constructive criticism to our girl, right, and say, you know, I don't feel like you value me enough, or I don't feel like you know, prioritize me enough. Like you're always working, you're always gone, you're always with the girls, you're always doing something else. Even us expressing that constructive criticism sheds light on the fact that we are lacking something, or that we are needy, or that we're not masculine, or that, you know, that's a hard conversation to have. Like men don't just speak like that daily. Like, hey, I wish you would prioritize me a bit more. Like I don't feel as loved in this relationship.
Would it be easier if the woman like entreated you? Like, what do you need from me? Would that like break the ice on that conversation?
To be honest, I think it'll help it slightly, but it's gonna still be an uncomfortable conversation to have, because again, as a man, I'm expressing the fact that I need something from you. That which is another thing, goes back to ego. Like men don't want to admit to needing something from anybody, not even our woman, especially our woman. So I mean, if you know, continue to like showcase that it's a safe space, I think eventually he'll open up. But initially, it don't matter how you present it. That's gonna be a hard conversation to have, because again, for me to need something means that I'm showing weakness in some type of area, and men not comfortable showing weakness at all in any area.
So in your case, miscommunication comes from like an ego or a pride thing?
again, from a man perspective. I can't necessarily speak from a woman. That's why I have you amazing ladies up here to shed light on that side. But from a
Can
man
I jump in on that?
Yeah, I wanted
go
to.
ahead.
So before you became a man, you were a boy. So if that behavior shows up in your manhood, it had to appear as a young boy. So, but here's the thing. I think there's a gap, right? Because you learn. I feel like that's a learned behavior. So my question to the men is, if that's the truth, right? Where is that learned in your childhood or somewhere along the adolescent spectrum as being like a young male? Because you don't wake up like that as a man.
Through fake friends, through jealous family members, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Like people that you hold in high regard and then they snake you. You know what I'm saying? They tell your business to somebody that don't supposed to know it.
Okay.
Or they use it against you. They try to blackmail you with it and all these type of things. That happens a lot to us boys. So that puts a shield on us. So when you see a group of men that's been friends for 20, 30 years, you better believe they got some dirt on each other. But they'll never speak it. They gonna die with that. You get what I'm saying? I don't see a lot of females that's like that. You get what I'm saying? A lot of females are not close-knit, like 15, 20 years strong. It's 4 of them, 5 of them. It don't happen. You know, it's really rare to see women like that, to run in packs like that and men knowing each other from grade school or from middle school. You will see a lot of men like that. That's why men, we hold our friends in a super high regard before our ladies can get that type of trust.
Right. Or they're loners, and the reason why they don't hang with a bunch of friends is because their friends burnt them.
Exactly.
But I have friends from I still have friends. What do you mean like that? Because I have friends from 10 years, 12 years.
I'm talking day-to-day friends. Y'all hang out all the time. Y'all do shit all the time. Y'all speak every day. All these type of things. Y'all check on each other every time you going through something. Y'all talk about all these type of things. That's real friends. Not somebody that just pop in and out every year. So that's somebody you know now because you've been growing.
Not every year, but maybe like I just feel like when women, especially when women are in relationships, this is what I found. My friends, they get into relationships or have a family, it is hard for us to just go out and just gravitate together. We have to make time for each other. I have a friend of 10, 12 years coming in from California, and we're gonna go get dinner tomorrow. We check in on each other, but it's not like we're not riding with each other like every day type thing because we don't have time to do that.
I hear you. But when I was living in Cali, I was talking to the boys every day. When I was in Japan, I talked to the boys every day.
But does that makes you their friend, or that means that they're your friend just when you talk to people? Because I have to say that I can count my friends with one hand. My circle is very small. Not everybody's your friend, and
That's
not
true.
everybody's supposed to be your friend. And even with your best friend, you don't talk to your best friend every day. I talk to my sisters every day. My family, we have a group chat, and my family, even if it's a meme or a sticker or something, we send something.
See, but you're from a different culture than us. You get what I'm saying? Us black people, like, we not built like that.
But that's kind of like saying victimizing something, and I'm sorry, but because what I'm saying is that you are grown enough to say, okay, this is good, this is bad, so I'm going to separate this from here. Because just like Queen said earlier, you know, where do you learn these things? I remember my grandpa and my grandma allowing my dad and, you know, his siblings to express themselves, their emotions, and they were safe in that environment. I've seen my dad cry many times. I've seen him, because vulnerability doesn't mean that you're weak. Actually, when you touch that bottom is when you become stronger. But people don't know that. People really just judge you, but they don't really know that when you do that is when you actually can become stronger, because you reach that point of vulnerability. But you have to feel safe in a safe environment. So I understand that part, that men don't feel like safe enough to express their emotions because they probably were neglected to do that when they were, you know, kids. Like, oh, men are not supposed to cry. And that's a I don't know how to say in English, but machista, you know, it's a machismo mentality. So
That's
It,
true.
in my case, my family's not like that. My grandpa
But
was always like very understanding.
in our community, I can tell you right now, 90% of men have never seen their dad cry. 95, let's say that, have never seen their dad cry.
Men, I seen my dad cry.
You know
And
what I'm saying?
probably in our community,
In
we're
our
gonna keep it
community,
real.
though, if we gonna keep it a
85%
bean,
probably have never seen their dad.
exactly. That's true too. That our generation of
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So with in terms of that, you dealing with a woman and you dealing with either a stepdad or sometime daddies that's coming through and helping your mom out because they like a little bit. You get what I'm saying? Your moms ain't got time to have them deep conversations with you because she busting her ass to keep that roof over you. You get what I'm saying? And y'all might have siblings. Whoever the oldest got to take care of y'all.
Yeah.
A lot of them feelings get put on the back burner because we just ain't got time to talk like that. All we doing is grinding. We grinding. We surviving. Most of us surviving.
So like Queen said, it is a learned behavior because in my family, I was raised in a 2-parent home and my father was very active and I have seen him cry. We would have family meetings on a daily basis, at least 3 times a week. We would all sit down and we'd have conversations and he made us express ourselves. He wanted us to be able to articulate what we thought and how we felt. And he said, if you can't figure out a way to say it, then you need to think of another way. Or even if you can say it one way, think of another way to say it because maybe that person can't understand it the way you're telling them. So he was always about us expressing our feelings, our emotions, and our thoughts. He wanted us to be thinkers. And my brother is very masculine and my father was very masculine, but I've seen him cry. He used to always tell us real men can cry. Emotions were given to us by God. There's no reason to not be able to use them, but you have to keep them under control. I would see him cry on a good movie. When Braveheart, at the end, when he was yelling freedom, I would see my dad drop a tear. When we would be praying, I would see him cry. But he was a man's man, and all the men followed him, and all the men respected him. That doesn't mean you have to lack emotion just to be a man.
Yeah, no, I don't necessarily think that's what they're saying. I think they're saying that we are programmed to do that. As far as like being tough, like men take pride in being able to go through hardship, injuries on if you playing sports or you get hurt or you fall, you bump your knee. Like men take pride in the fact that I got up and I didn't cry. I got up and I got right back to doing what the hell I was supposed to be doing. Like and I agree. I probably seen my daddy cry. And I'm 32. I didn't probably seen him cry once. And even then, when he seen me looking at him, he wiped that shit up and got it right back together. You know what I'm saying? It's a situation where, and again, like you can't really teach what you ain't got. So my daddy's dad was the same way. Like he's just, again, it's pride in that, like not feeling anything. Like boys are raised to not feel anything. If a boy falls, he could be 4 years old, 3 years old. First thing we're gonna say is get up, boy. What are you doing? Boys don't cry. Get your ass up and then walk that off. You know
I was about to say that. Yeah, and I'm sorry for interrupting, but when you say that you saw your dad cry, what? And I'm, this is kind of like the behavior thing that we have to change. When you see someone cry, what do you do? Do you stare at the person?
I hug them.
You comfort the person. You comfort the person. So that's why they wipe their tears because it's like you're just watching. I'm not saying you in general, people in general, when they are not empathetic enough, you don't have to say anything. All you have to do is, hey, come here, cry here if you need to, like comfort the person. If you need to cry more, it's okay. But people don't feel comfortable because we're like, oh my God, it's crying, like I can't believe it's crying. So that creates kind of like discomfort on the person and they feel like, oh no, I shouldn't be doing this right now. This is not right. So that's one thing. And then also weaponizing, like if someone cries and then you're going to use that against them. Oh yeah, remember it means nothing. Like that's just not good. So we have to really think about it. Even if it's like, women do that sometimes. I have to say that women do that.
Only time we get grace for crying is at funerals. That may be the only spot we see our daddy crying for real. Outside of that, it was a mistake that you seen him.
That's real. Like I remember when my pops was in the hospital. My pops used to drive trucks, oil tankers, as a matter of fact. And one time, one of them flipped, and It flipped like 3 times. Luckily, it didn't explode, but he hit his head on the windshield, glass cuts everywhere, all of that. Right, I'm talking about blood all over his, all down his shirt, all on his pants, all on his arms, everything. Right, so we got the call, and then what I'm saying. Of course, we scrambled to the hospital or whatever. And this right here is an example of what I mean by how we are programmed to be. Right. So when I get to the hospital and I'm like, where's my daddy? Where's my daddy? So they take me to the room. And at this point, they're still cleaning him off. He got glass all in his head, glass everywhere. They're still trying to pull the glass out, trying to clean the blood out. So when I seen him, he had blood all over him. And the first thing he said when I seen him, "Don't cry, boy. I'm all right. I'm good." So again, as you know, despite all of that, literally almost lost his life. Blood everywhere, like it's a gruesome scene, gruesome. But luckily, it cut him in, and not in like a non-critical spot. But it was just a lot of blood, and the optics of it, dried up blood all over his face. Again, this is my pop. This is my superhero.
How old were you then? How old?
Shit, 16.
Yeah,
15, 16.
A learned behavior.
Yeah, so it's like seeing that, and again, and from my optics at 16, this is the worst possible scenario that I could possibly see. It's my superhero laid on his bed in the most vulnerable position I've ever seen him in ever. And the first thing that comes out of his mouth is, "I'm good, boy. Don't cry. I'm good. Take care of your mama. Take care of your sisters. I'll be all right." So that's an example of what I mean. So seeing that, right? So now when I go out into the world, anything that's not just life altering, threatening, I'm programmed to say, "I'm good. I'm gonna be all right. I'm good. This shit is, I'm gonna get past this shit." Even if it's heartbreaking, it's traumatizing, it's physically injured. I remember playing football, and broken ribs, broken ankle, dislocated shoulders, all that. And I get up and I look to my coaches, I look to my pop, and he looking at me like, so, even if you want to cry in that moment, again, programming is gonna make you say, "Nah, I gotta tough this out," because men don't cry, boys don't cry. So it's like I'm gonna get to the sideline, I'm gonna carry my shoulder, I'm gonna limp, I'm gonna crawl over there, take my shit back up, and put me in the game, because it's pride in going through that type of hardship and coming out on the other side without showing weakness. And that's how we are programmed. And it's just
is it a programming for Black people or just all men?
I can't really speak to other races. I can only speak to Black people.
It happens here. Like me from outside, I would say it happens here. But honestly, I think nowadays things are changing a little bit because, and I would say this, women are more into trying to change this behavior. Because I remember my sisters, I have 2 sisters that they are telling their, sons that they need to express their emotions. They're like, "Okay, I understand that you're upset. I understand that you're mad, but you can tell me what's happening," or kind of like to express themselves.
But I think there should be a balance with that too, because
I want to answer that, Kelly, in a minute.
Soft men. So I don't think that that's the solution either, because even my son, like he was dominantly with me, and now he's with his dad, and he's just like, "You should have let me have him sooner." Like, he's in the boxing ring crying. And I tell him to get up. He's like, "He won't get up. He'll just stay down." Like, "You should have let me have him sooner." So it's like I almost conditioned him to be softer than he should, because he lives this little pushy, safe. Yes, because in real life, a man needs to have it's almost like he needs to develop this tough armor, because the world isn't gonna be soft to him like mommy is.
So y'all say this as in like when Trill's story, it sounds like, man, I think that men should be able to express themselves, but then when you see little boys, they're like, be tough on them.
Right.
No, I think it's a balance.
Expression
you
isn't
can be soft with mom and talk, but you need to be tough with dad. Like, there's like this balance. Like, you could be too soft, like a cushy teddy bear who never had a chance to develop.
I want to hear what Ricky had. What were you?
Sorry, Ricky.
No, you're all right, sis. You're all right. Expression ain't the same as breaking down.
That's true.
You see what I'm saying? Like, if that's the example, and I don't want to pick on your son, Kelly, but
no, go ahead.
Right, that's a breakdown. Right, like, look, the thing is this, right? Yeah, you could cry all day, but crying's not solving the problem. You see what I mean? Like the way, again, this is just the way I'm picking it up. What y'all saying? Yeah, express. It's okay to cry. Right. Once you cry, that's not the end of what got to happen. It's still shit that got to be done. You know, I ain't gonna say excuse my language. Y'all know how I talk. You know what I'm saying? It's still shit that got to be done at the end of the day. So and to try to 360 back to what Smooth did, right? We've been conditioned that way from the beginning, since the beginning, right? Because we are men and we don't have nobody to take up slack for us. You see what I'm saying? Oh, you fall and you have all the right to be hurt and cry, but get your ass up. Shut up. You'll be all right. Move on.
And I think that's a problem. When I think there's an adult perspective, I think there's a childhood perspective. And I think what we do is we lump a lesson all into one and we dump it on kids. Don't cry without the explanation of why, how. Don't cry because you're a big boy. Don't allow him to feel it. And then as he matures in age or matures through feeling it, okay, you've been feeling that a while now. Here's the next stage of that. And I don't think we dissect or drill down on lessons. I think we dump it all without the grace of allowing people to mature for the next stage or the next part of that lesson. And I think that's where we can improve as a community when we talk communication amongst Black men. That's the first thing. The second thing I think Kelly asks is this only applicable to Black men, the communication and not being allowed to feel your feelings from, being a young boy? From my experience, from my professional experience, I think it's all men.
So
I think they handle it a little bit differently, but I think it's all men.
And then women, they get in relationships and their women are like, he can't open up. He doesn't know how to communicate. He doesn't know how to even express his feelings. Like somebody can die in his family. He can lose his mother or father or something. And he doesn't even know how to talk to his wife or his partner about it because he's been bottling up his emotions for so long about feeling pain. But when it's actually real pain, that gets bottled up and turned into depression. That's why most men are depressed. So this is not a healthy masculine thing that's being taught to younger children because they don't know how to express themselves and manage their emotions in a healthy way.
And
I have a story.
All right, go ahead.
So this is a childhood story for me. This is why I think having two parents in the home is a good balance, and I feel like you develop a more well-rounded human being when they get both that masculine and feminine energy. I definitely think that dad should be the masculine dominant role model, but also the mother's softness comes into play as well. And I remember one time I was playing on the bunk bed and I was jumping and doing something I shouldn't have been doing, and I got hurt. I sliced my leg and I was so hurt and I had to get stitches and I was crying, and my mom came to my rescue. It's okay, baby. I'll take you to the hospital. We'll get it all taken care of. And she bandaged me up and we went to the hospital. I got my stitches and she consoled me. My dad was pissed. Like, he scolded me. He said, you shouldn't have been doing that. Don't let it happen again. And so in my mind, I was thinking, my father, when I get hurt, my dad gets mad at me. But my mom had to explain to me, he's not mad. He's upset that you got hurt. He doesn't want it to happen again. So there was the masculine dominant side, and there was that soft side. And I think having those two come together, there's more understanding as a child. It's like, my dad's not mad at me. He's just mad that I got hurt. And that's how he expressed it. That's the emotion he showed. But my mom softened it for me.
Question. Ladies, if your dude cried all the time, what would you do? How would you feel about it?
Not all the time. That's too much. Like, why? Because I'm a grown adult.
All the time. Explain yourself all the time. That
look. He ain't got to cry.
Said, explain yourself.
Let's say he's super emotional.
Every time that someone passes away, every time that
no. Let's just say he's super emotional about everything.
Whenever there's adversity,
whenever he feels like crying, well, that's
I mean, I don't want to date a woman. I want to date a man. I think that's what the opposite.
So thank you. Hey, B. Taylor.
Zero tolerance.
It's usually not a man behavior. It's usually not a man behavior. They will cry for anything and everything.
Nope. You can't walk your way around this one. The goalpost is bolted down, right? So
B. Taylor got that stamp of approval. Yay!
Y'all, like I
Finally.
said, you can't have it both ways. It's a masculine trait to put shit on your shoulders and work through it, right? Y'all, you wouldn't be able to deal with it if, I want you to be emotional and be open with your feelings. If every time, and this is me being honest with y'all, if every time I had a thought about me failing, not being able to get some shit done, some stuff I'm worried about, I look like y'all. And you wouldn't want to date me. Be telling, I don't want to date no girl. It's some man shit. Get the fuck over it. Let's move on to the next.
Zero tolerance. Zero tolerance.
Okay, all right.
Well, yeah, man. So again, it's a slippery slope, man. But that was a hell of a question, man. I figured I was gonna ruffle some emotions, no pun intended.
Ricky,
real
has your
quick.
wife ever seen you cry or no?
Yeah. I think she seen me cry maybe one time, and I think twice. It was when my homeboy died recently, and then ironically I was at the movies, and have y'all ever seen that movie Fruitvale Station?
Yep.
Yes.
That was the other time, like when I was walking out the theater. And it wasn't even like boohoo crying. It was just like anger. You know how you so mad that tears just start coming and you want to just punch a hole through a wall. Like it was that type of thing. And like I was trying to hide it, man. But it's a specific scene in the especially like when he handcuffed and he face down and he gets shot in the back by that cop, and he turned over like, damn, bro, you shot me. She coughing and trying to talk, and he's like, bro, I got a daughter. And that right there, I was just like, wow. Like, nigga was just emotionless after he did it, too. And folks died, never got to see his daughter again, all type of shit like that. So just walking out that theater, which is why I only watched that movie one time. I can't watch that more than once. But, yeah, so those is the only two times. Yeah, and we done been together, damn near almost 15 years now.
See, but look, this is what I'm saying though, B, right? Just the fact that it has to be an acceptable reason.
No, y'all set those standards. You set the bar for yourself.
No.
B. Taylor just corrected it.
Stop. The goalpost is bolted down right now. You can't move it. You said specifically, I don't care what, you can lie to me all day. I ain't your man. You can lie to me all day. I don't care.
I'm going off of Trill's story, what he just shared and why he cried. That's a standard that he set for himself. I'm just sticking to the script. Now, if we talk in general, overall, you have a point.
Yeah. Now, I want to ask Ricky one question, though.
Yeah.
And this is for you in general as well. Do you really want to cry for everything?
No, but I don't want to emotionally expose myself for everything either.
Facts.
No. But my question is, do you because I have never been around a man that cries for everything and just anything, to be honest.
That's the extreme.
I've known people that are a little more open to express their emotions and they're not shy to express when they're crying. And to me, a man that cries, it looks even like it's so masculine, to be honest. When I see a man that cries, I promise you, I saw my dad on his knees crying, and I'm like, wow, that's like,
because
I couldn't believe that he looked so strong to me.
But that's your dad. It's not your man.
No. Okay, all right. But what I'm saying is,
Ricky's not
want to cry for everything. Like, as a man, every time that you have a problem, do you feel like you want to cry? Because I don't feel like that's a man.
No, see, but no, hold on. I got you smooth, right? Mm-hmm. But y'all said being emotionally available, expression, emotions. On that, you can't take which parts you want and like. You see what I'm saying? Like with my wife, if she feeling a type of way emotionally, I can't. Oh, that's good. That's not. That's good. No, I got to sit up there and listen to everything. That's what you asking for when you saying emotionally available, correct?
Being emotionally available doesn't mean crying. every day,
you're
all
off.
the time, about every time you feel an emotion. I am emotionally available, but I don't cry about everything.
Yeah.
I
But
didn't say cry.
I did date a white guy for 30 days, and he cried 5 times within those 30 days. And it was too much for me.
And you let him
I was
go.
like,
in
oh,
the
like
days.
the first time was okay. The second
Wow.
time was like, okay. And then
I
I'm like,
hate
oh,
to
we're
do
still
this to
doing
y'all.
this?
I hate to do this to y'all, right? Imagine if your man started every conversation with "I feel."
Men do that though.
I don't.
Most men don't.
It's not about you. It's not about the people in the panel. Remember?
Again, and that's you're right. But how many of y'all dating dudes that say "I feel" all the goddamn time?
No, man. I think
Exactly.
we're using extreme examples, and I think we've kind of gotten off with like using the
Nope.
worst case scenarios.
No,
I
this
think
is
when
not-
when we talk communication, we're just saying a little bit of vulnerability goes a long way. That's it.
But see,
I
that's
don't see a
the
problem
that's
with
the
that.
problem, is that there's so much wiggle room in that a little bit. See, it's so much wiggle room in that. So as a man, right, when you say a little bit, so now in our head we gonna overcompensate. So it's like, okay, crying is a problem. And matter of fact, if y'all pay attention to the chat, I just took a poll. Y'all look at what that poll said. The question was, are you judging a man that cries often? And it was 70% yes. So again, it speaks back to the point, like it's societal pressure. It's not only the pressure from my woman, it's not only, it's societal pressure. We programmed to be machine-like as
Okay.
men. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? So of course, like if you grow up in that type of environment, then you're gonna adapt to it. And to be honest, a lot of us come from neighborhoods to where showing weakness could mean your life. Or
Okay.
it can mean you getting robbed, or it can mean, whatever the case may be, because
People stepping on you.
right, because niggas gonna see you like food, as just honest. So
You're
with
prey.
so we feel like an added pressure to be hard all the time. That's why you'll see dudes like a walk in the room, and this be the funniest shit in the world, right? Dudes are like walk in the room, and they'll have a bunch of dudes in there that he don't know. He'll walk in that bitch, and he mean mugging everybody, like hard, like mean mugging everybody, because you don't want to seem weak. And all it take is one dude come up to him and spark a conversation, and he smiles for the rest of the night. Because it's just like presentation is everything. Like we gotta present that like I'm not to be played with in here. You know what I'm saying? But once I see that it's a friendly environment, it's like, all right, well, cool. Now I can kind of, loosen up. All right, bro, what up, bro? Da, 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 and we chopping it up, talking about sports, talking about women, laughing and joking. But when I first walked in, you thought we was ops, because that's how a lot of us feel like it's necessary. But caveat with that is, when we get older and we get into relationships, that works to our detriment. Because I've been doing this for 20 plus years, so I done been doing it so much so I done shelved all my emotions. I don't have emotional intelligence. I don't know how to communicate simple shit that I'm uncomfortable with, and now that's driving a wedge between my relationships. So the same shit that we need to survive on one end. I'm speaking about black men specifically. I can't speak to no other race, but black men specifically, a lot of times we need that to survive. But that thing that we need to survive in those environments works to our detriment in a relationship if we don't run into a woman that's patient enough to really teach us on
But in a
on the back end.
relationship, do you feel like a woman could provide a safe environment for you to feel okay with being vulnerable?
No. I feel like with most men, it's always going to be uncomfortable. It doesn't matter like how much of a safe space that she provides, because again, it's programming. It's just like somebody who's been in the service. They've been trained to kill all their life. Whenever a certain scenario comes up, it's muscle memory, and it's hard to break that muscle memory. It's going to take a long time, like really, really long time. And let's just be honest, most relationships don't last that long. So most women don't ever even see that side. You know what I'm saying? In terms of a man opening up, like we asked the question on the last part in regards to that, like how long should it take, a man to open up and be vulnerable? Kenny was joking, but the first thing he said, shit, 6 years. But it was a joke, but it was real. You know what I'm saying? In terms of like, it takes a man a long time. Like we got to go through trials and tribulations. Like we got to see you, like you got to be on roll with us through everything for us to just open up and be vulnerable. And even when we do, it's never all the way opened up. I think Ricky said this before. It's certain shit that we'll never talk to y'all about that's bothering us. Never.
Like what? Give us one example.
Negative. Nope, you're not getting that.
Trill, give me one example, Trill.
Hey, man, I gotta ride with the fellas, man.
Nope.
I gotta ride with the fellas.
Because the truth is, if y'all want to keep it a buck, right? The best woman, when she mad enough, will throw that shit in your face.
That's true. That's true. I can definitely say that's true.
No.
I
There are
disagree.
things that are
Females,
non-negotiable. There are
females
things that
will do that.
no.
Females will do that. A woman
if you hurt
would.
a woman enough, she's gonna use it against you. She's gonna be like, "Oh, you cheated on me. Well, that's probably because you didn't have a dad or something like that, or
No.
something." No, you'll be surprised.
Stop lying, y'all liars.
I can't ride with y'all on that because that
No.
means that every woman is.
Nope. It ain't everybody on the panel.
So hold on.
It ain't everybody on the panel.
There's some really good people in this world, both men and women. That would be assuming everybody is toxic and waiting to get you.
It's not
if you slip up.
It's not
wanted to
about
say-
that.
It's
just the way it goes. It's
I
just
wanted
the
to
way
say-
it goes. Like
There are
I-
some things
I
you
get-
take to the grave and you don't bring back up. If someone tells you, "Oh, my mother was a drug addict and I was a crack baby and I got taken away when I was," you don't bring that shit up in an argument. That's why your
Yeah.
mother was a crack baby. Like what? There are certain things you just don't bring back
Hold
up.
on, B.
They
Taylor
tell
looking like
you-
she would.
You know what I'm saying?
B. Taylor
Like,
gonna
if
bring
they
that
tell
up,
you
yeah.
in a safe space and it's a vulnerable moment, you don't bring that shit back up ever. I don't care how mad you are. You just
Shit.
don't
Yeah.
do it.
But
You
you know
hold
the
it.
problem with women when they mad, a lot of them don't think.
Don't think I
When
agree.
shit
But I
happens,
was-
Who y'all
that's
dealing
exactly-
with?
That's
no,
exactly
You
what.
gotta realize, like, even like you can be facing like foreclosure and all these type of things. That's a lot of pressure. You get what I'm saying? And for a woman, she's gonna be voicing her opinion. For a man, he gonna be thinking like, "Damn, how can I figure this out? How can I get this together? What I gotta do to make sure we land right on this shit?" You get what I'm saying? And that's conversations you would never get. You would never get that conversation from him because he's so busy on, "Let me fix this shit," and you in his ear.
Were you a part of our
But I have to
pre-show
say that
conversation?
I have to say, as a human being, not even women or men here, but like human beings, we are not taught to handle our emotions since we're young. Like since we're kids, they don't teach us that. You know, like being emotional intelligence is not something that is easy either. So I think Drew mentioned this before, that even if a woman expresses her emotions a lot, doesn't mean that she's emotional intelligence, because I don't find myself crying for everything just because that's manipulation. A woman that cries and wants to fix everything with crying, like, it's just pure manipulation right there. I remember my younger sister used to do that a lot. You know, like my dad will just intentionally bring an apple, just one, and just split it in half, just intentionally to show her to share. And she will cry and cry until she wanted an entire apple, and she wanted to fix everything with crying. And he was like, "No, you're not gonna cry. This is what you're going to get." So he was like showing her to handle her emotions properly, and not a lot of people take the time to do that. So also, a woman that cries doesn't mean that she's vulnerable or it's okay to do it. Just because she's a woman, she has the right to do it. I find that really, really stupid, to be honest. Just because I'm a woman, I'm allowed to. I don't want to cry for everything, and that doesn't make me less feminine. I just don't want. I handle my emotions.
A lot of women not like that though.
That's just what I was about. I mean,
A lot of women not like that, man. A lot of women.
A lot of women are not like what?
Shit start happening. She is going to vent to her man.
Okay.
But
She is
that
going
that
to
doesn't that means that she is not emotional intelligent. Because just speaking out of anger, that's stupid. That's
It ain't
the
even
worst
got to
thing
be
that you can
anger.
do.
It can just be
No,
shit
you
going
can
on.
upset, like something. It doesn't matter. The first thing that comes to your out of your mouth is blaming someone else instead of like thinking what is going on. That's just the worst
But
thing.
Sarah, look, it ain't even got to be the blaming people and all these type of things. It can just be something going on with her. Something happened. Somebody pissed her off. You know, so she going through some family problems with her mom or sister or brother or something like that. You get what I'm saying? And men, we have to listen to that.
So,
are you saying-
so emotional intelligence isn't not having emotion. It's taking the information receiving it and not reacting from it, thinking about how you're feeling and where it's coming from, and being able to respond correctly in a situation versus erupting like a volcano. So it's not having emotion. It's okay, I'm feeling this. Why am I feeling this? And then directing it in the right way and responding in the right way. It's thinking things through, like taking your logic and applying it to your emotion. So the eruption is not emotional intelligence. Having a conversation is not that's not saying you don't have emotional intelligence because you're venting.
I agree.
Hey, you know what's crazy? A lot of emotional men make a lot of mistakes.
Because they're not emotionally intelligent. They don't need to cry to show emotions. Because just like Kelly's saying, being emotional intelligent doesn't mean that you cannot show your emotions. Actually, emotional intelligence is like, okay, I am mad at this, or I am mad at myself, because most of the time we're mad at everybody, but like we make mistakes and we don't say I am mad at myself right now. Oh, I shouldn't have done this. Like, I'm mad at myself for this. Why am I gonna cry? If I'm gonna cry, why am I gonna take it against the world if it's me who made the mistake? Like, why?
But that's most women.
But so, like, an example.
I'm not saying men. I'm saying being emotional intelligent in general. Not a lot of people is emotional intelligent.
I think a lot of people haven't been taught to be emotionally intelligent.
Right.
And
it's even talking about this.
Like, yeah.
So what is it? What is emotional intelligence to you?
Okay, for me,
your emotions properly. Like, hey, accepting your emotions. Okay, you know what? This person cheated on me. I feel betrayed. Like, naming the emotion. That's the step number one when handling your emotions. And I'm saying I work with human resources, so they teach us how to handle emotions. You have to learn this. You have to know how to treat others. So the number one rule is naming the emotion. What do you feel? How are you feeling? Because what are the emotions that we know? Happy and sad and mad or angry? Those are the only emotions? No, there's betrayal. There's disappointment. There's a bunch of emotions. So, hey, I am disappointed. I remember my ex-boyfriend back in 2019. He said, "Are you even angry?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not. I am very disappointed." Because I was disappointed. Why? Anger is a punishment that I'm going to do to myself. It's a feeling. It's an emotion that I'm going to feel. And I'm going to punish myself for something that someone else did to me. No, I am disappointed at you. That's what I think.
But some people aren't even self-aware enough to even know what they're feeling or process it well. They don't even know themselves.
Hey, Queen, what you was about to say?
So for me, emotional intelligence is being able to feel what you feel in that moment. If you're pissed off, I'm pissed off. And then you accepting that I'm pissed off. Give me a second. I'm pissed off. I can't have this conversation because it might pop off. And then releasing that in a healthy amount of time. But not only that, for me, emotional intelligence is also realizing where I'm gapped. What I mean by where I'm gapped is, maybe I'm not well equipped emotionally to give other people what they need, and being able to admire that quality in others without making them feel bad about what they're feeling. To me, that's what emotional intelligence means to me.
And also working on filling that gap, because if you're aware that you have a gap, then you can be like, okay, maybe I can practice this so I can get better at this particular area of my life.
And it goes back to what we talked about before. It was like the pre-show. We were backstage. We were doing a mic check, and we kind of got into this conversation about women and men. And I talked about how I saw this YouTube post by this dude, and he shared 5 things a man will never tell a woman that he needs from her. You could Google it you can search it on YouTube. And the only thing I remember 1 out of the 5. And the one I remembered is because the one I don't do well. And he was saying, men want you to touch us. Women, we want you to touch us. And it doesn't have to be sexual. And the reason why I remember that is because I feel like, shit, I don't do that enough with my husband. I want him to do with me, but I don't do that. And that's a form of communication and emotional intelligence that's important to him.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, P. Taylor? You ain't saying nothing. What's up?
No, I'm just listening, learning. I mean, I don't even know where to jump in at with the emotional intelligence, because I'm like, okay, I'm learning. I need emotional intelligence because I'm a little firecracker when it comes down.
So you need some help. It ain't bad to say, okay, cool.
And you know what? that's respected for her to say that she needs that.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, because she's aware of it. So that's
I
awesome.
agree. Real quick, man, we're gonna pay some bills. It's a hell of a conversation, which I knew it would be, full of substance, man. I appreciate y'all for all y'all contributions for sure. Shout out to the Crusaders in the building, man. I see y'all going crazy, man. It's like 350 people in here. Likes at 239. So y'all already know what time it is, man. We gotta get that thing up. If you ain't like the stream, go ahead and like it right now. While I pay these bills, man. First and foremost, Thinking Man's Podcast. Salute to you, bro, with the 10 piece. We appreciate it.
Okay.
For sure. Poor man. I mean, Thinking Man Podcast, man. We definitely gotta get bro up here one of these days. Dude is definitely profound. And, a lot of what he communicates. Can't get some podcasts in the building with the 10 piece. We appreciate you, bro. You say when emotions are involved, you lose all objectivity. Objectivity is the foundation of true communication and understanding, and that's a fact. Especially in relationships, it is damn near impossible to be objective sometimes and to not take things personal. Because this is the most this is my person. How am I ain't gonna take shit personal? You know what I'm saying? But you're right in terms of objectivity. Uncle Luke, 1980s in the building. Shout out to the panel. Always enjoy the content. I see you moving up. Keep up the great work and save yourselves, black men. Y'all niggas hilarious with that little battle cry. Hold on, there's one more I missed. Ruckus Buck with the 5 piece. You must process the negative emotions as well as the positive emotions. Use the quote unquote emotion wheel for help identifying your emotions. That's a fact. If you haven't researched the emotion wheel, definitely tap into that. It's a lot of intel there. Okay, so that brings me to my next point or my next question. Within your dating history, within your relationship history, give me one, and I mean one, example of a situation to where there was a struggle to communicate.
But I have so many stories.
Well, I'm gonna tell you mine. I always got to failure to communicate. I'm terrible with that.
Even now,
imagine.
Terrible
with communication.
Well, why?
Wait, you're saying that you're terrible with communicating?
Terrible.
So can you imagine how is a difficult thing for a woman to understand you if you're not even communicating?
See, but my wife understands me. She just
okay. So we're not talking about your wife right now. She's your wife already, communicating with the world. Like, if you're not, like you're saying, you are the problem, and you're trying to blame others when you are the problem.
So look, I can communicate very well with the world.
Oh, right? Now you're communicating well.
Very well. I am.
I put you against the wall. That's why you're communicating well right now.
No. Like, hey, Bia tell you if Otis was here, Kenny and them was here, they would tell you like I am great with people. Like great with people. You get what I'm saying? It's just my relationship. Damn.
How are you able to maneuver that though? Because sometimes when a woman feels like her man is not able to communicate, she's not getting some of her needs met and feeling heard. And I feel like it's so important for a woman to feel like she wants to be heard. She needs to be heard by her husband, right?
Yeah. I hear my woman on a lot of things, on everything. But my communication, as far as me feeling things and all that, it take a lot for me to say something. You get because I look at it like if I can't control it myself, if it's not in my hands to control it, fuck it. That's how I look at it. That's how I always look at it. If I can't control the outcome, what I'm mad about.
Do you have an example of like a time that you didn't communicate well? Like how did that go?
I can't even think of one because it's a lot.
This should be super
You're the
easy.
problem. You're the problem.
It should be
Hold up.
easy.
Hold up. I got my church finger up. Is that still a problem?
In a way, yeah. In a way.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Can I give you an advice on how will help in your relationship?
Let me hear that.
So have like checkups every month, every 2 months, whenever you think it's necessary, and prepare questions. Like questions that you both will answer, and like have the questions ready. Like these are the questions that we're going to answer, and then write it in a paper, and then you read the questions to each other. That's something that helps, to be honest. It's not like it doesn't feel like you're communicating like, at the moment, because you already wrote the question, like the answer. So the other person he's not paying attention. So
I'm listening to you.
that's a way of communication too. Knowing how to listen.
I may try that out.
Boy, fool. Queen Sheba, when you think of
Ah,
like something that you had the issue, because that's why I had to rephrase it, right? Because if I just put it out there generally, y'all gonna tell me what the man had trouble communicating. What's something that you had trouble communicating to your husband, man? Y'all been rocking, so I know you got something.
yeah. That's a really good question. My emotions, probably. My emotions. I feel like I'm a little bit learned behavior. I feel like at one point in my life as a woman, I was extremely vulnerable, very soft, very feminine. Unfortunately, you go through shit, right? And, you know, as a result, I became more contained, more strategic, more locked up with my emotions. And I'm not as soft and emotionally available as I can be. I'm working through it. I'm not quite there yet, but because he gives me grace and he's a very kind and loving man, it balances me out. So that would be my example.
That is a hell of an example. Because as you talking, I'm thinking of my old lady as you talking.
Yeah.
And she the same way, man. First and foremost, man, welcome Miss Kayla to the stage. She is in the building. MissKayla.com. If y'all are not subscribed, make sure that y'all are tapped the hell in, man. Kayla, welcome to the stage. We are asking, within your relationship history, what's something that you could think of right off the top of the head that you had trouble communicating with your partner?
When my feelings were hurt,
Mm.
I would be reactionary versus being like, you really hurt my feelings. Like, I would just get mad and get angry and be like, who the fuck you talking to?
But it really softens the guy when you just be like, you really hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
And they're just like,
I didn't know that.
Me too.
I didn't know that. You know what I mean? Like when you come with it the other way, it's they receive it differently versus like, I don't know. It's something that a good friend of mine that's married told me, like when he gets mad at you, like get nicer or something like that. And so he can realize how he's acting versus like you getting aggressive with him or you getting upset with him. And then it's a fight. But like, yeah, when I was younger, man, I used to be fighting.
I tell you what, man, like that's some real shit because like as men, man, and I'm gonna give y'all a jewel, man. Everybody in the chat, salute to all of the Crusaders, man. I see y'all going crazy. Men are problem solvers. And this sounds cliche, but in those moments, give us a problem to solve instead of harsh criticism. Which is why when she said, like, ask your man, get nicer or whatever the case, but like, present it to him. I don't want to say in a crybaby voice because I fucking hate when y'all do that crybaby voice shit. But in that type of theme, like, give us a problem to solve, and he gonna jump through the roof trying to fix it more so than me feeling like you talking to me condescending. Or you got me in an interrogation room when you criticizing me. Like if you got something for me to change, like just present it accordingly, and that's gonna get you way farther. But yeah, men are problem solvers. Give us a problem to solve. Simple.
I think what Doc the professor said also is something that I'm still not good at. Sometimes men don't want to talk about it. We just want space and time to think. For me, I don't like cold food. So I like to listen, let's just calm ourselves down and have this conversation. Like we need to stop realize, let's have a come to Jesus moment. Like, baby, we a team, you know what I mean? And then let's talk it out versus like, I'm an overthinker. So like you want to like table this for, if it's something super serious, I just can't see myself tabling it for 2 days a week. And then like my mind is going to fester and it's going to get bad. Like, we just need to work it out. And then, because I also don't like to go to sleep mad. I don't like that. I just want to work it out. And like, if we have to yell it out, scream it out, whatever we have to do to make sure we get on the same page, is work it out. Then go to sleep. But like going to sleep mad, I mean, it started making me not the person I want to be when. Yeah.
But see that right there is tough, man. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because again, as you're talking, I'm thinking about my old lady. And the thing is this, man. In those moments, right? Like our natural instinct when we arguing, right, is to like go left because we already frustrated, we already mad, we trying to get the space, and you continue in the press. No, let's talk about this right now. No, let's get into it right now. So at that point, we feel like our back is against the wall. So now, okay, you want the truth? Here's the truth. He gonna rattle off some of the most disrespectful shit, and it's not intended to be disrespectful. But it's just a lot of what he's been holding on to. And he's going to say it in a very blunt and offensive way. And that's not going to do us no good in terms of getting to that solution. So that's why they talking about get that man that space so we can calm down and present it right. But if we already mad and you pressing, because this is another thing. Like, I don't think women understand how much men refrain in certain situations. Like, women don't necessarily have to. Like, if a woman goes crazy or whatever, it's like, oh, she a woman, women emotional, we just write that off to that. But men, like, we don't get that grace. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta refrain a lot. It be some shit that y'all say, or the way that y'all look when y'all talking to us, or the tone, like the disrespectful, look down, condescending tone, and that man be wanting to punch a fucking hole through a wall. So we gotta refrain.
I can't control my face. I don't know.
True, I'm guilty of that.
My face does that. I'm
very guilty of that. I'm very, very guilty. Me and my man got in an argument, and he's like, I don't want to talk about this. And I was like, no, we're going to talk about this. Da-da-da-da. And then so he was ignoring me. So that made me even more angry. And he was playing a game. So I made the biggest mistake you can ever do, I guess, as a woman. And I cut the game off.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no.
Oh, what? That shit going left.
And see, this what
did it go left?
Like, why we gotta do this, right? Why we gotta do this, right? So with Trill, everything y'all sitting up there and y'all nodding y'all head to everything Trill just said, right? When I said before, right?
I'm sorry. She cut the game off. I'm sorry.
I did. I got in trouble. Right? Look, he didn't refrain back. He said everything that he wanted to say.
Yeah, I know he turned up on you. He turned up on you.
Hey, and you know what's crazy with that?
These men with these games, you just gotta
See, this what I'm saying though. Hold on, Smooth Man, right? So when I just said, like, no man want to be having a conversation about how I feel this, I feel that. I know you should be an emotional available. When this man just said, we see stuff all the time and don't say nothing, and y'all nodding y'all head agreeing, right? Let's just agree it's some man shit and move on.
Okay, let me ask you this, Ricky.
Understand it.
Hey, you
for
know
the
what's
women,
crazy? When men do blow up, like what happened with B. Taylor, it was arguments within that argument that you started.
Oh,
right?
yeah, for sure. It was
exactly. That's why men don't like doing that.
It started off as one thing, and then it went into something else, and then I was like, "You're not listening to me."
And you see, this is why you don't let things fester, because they go sweep under the I was in a very toxic situation. Things get swept under the rug, and then we're arguing about something as simple as who left the fucking light on, and now we in a whole dead fight about whatever had happened a month ago.
Why though? Like
you wanted to table it, which was really your way of saying you don't want to talk about it, and then you don't come back and say, "Hey, baby, let's finish talking this out." You just hope I forget and that I don't bring it up again.
Why would you forget?
Sometimes I do, but then you do something that triggers me, and now we're back in the same fight.
Right, that triggers you, right? That triggers you.
Yeah, because we should have talked it out when it happened. You want to table it and try to put it under the table. No. What? Let's talk it out. You need to yell. You need a pillow. Yell in the pillow. You know.
Don't feel bad, Kayla. I'm out here paying rent, so don't feel bad. I'm out here paying rent.
What I have to say about that?
No, I'm being funny.
Oh, okay.
Real quick, let me ask this question to the guys, just so the women that are tuned in. I think you guys are saying give us space. How much space is healthy for women that are tuned in? What's normal And then at what point is he playing with you and playing with your emotions? Can y'all give women feedback regarding that?
What emotions is he playing with?
No, normal. Let him cool off. It takes normally about this amount of time. And then if it's past this time, he's probably playing with you. Yeah.
I apologize. This is what I'm saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
An argument on feelings can't be fixed. I need y'all to listen.
Did you hear what I said?
An argument on feelings cannot be fixed. They're your feelings.
What do I do with them?
That's up to you.
But
right? But hold on, B. Taylor. Hold on, sis. Right? You got to give us something to fix. What you arguing for nothing?
Don't do it again.
Do what?
That's what I need you to do. That's what I need you to
do.
Fix.
What? Right. The way, because it's the way
whatever you was doing.
Your feelings are yours. It doesn't matter what I do. You're gonna feel a certain way about something. You need to fix your feelings.
No, that's not true. It's not. You say no matter what you do. No, what you do is why I feel what I feel.
You're not getting it. You're not getting it, right? What I'm saying is this, right? Because you feel a way about something that's so petty, it bothers you. It's a trigger for you. You need to learn how to handle your trigger.
How are you going to tell me what's petty though? Like between your relationship, you should know. Between your relationship, you should know your partner. You should know what they've been through. You should know their mentality. You should know where they're at. Some things that are petty to other people aren't petty to others. But if you know your partner and you know this is a trigger to something and that happened, whatever, when their childhood or the previous, whatever, then you know that's a thing for them and that you have to handle that accordingly. You can't be like, oh, I find that petty, so I don't give a fuck.
Okay. So again, I hate to do this to you, right? But again, it rose to it rose exactly what you just said about the situation about, I feel we should take care of this right now, when you probably get a better result if you let that man come back with you with a better answer. But how you gonna come back to a better answer when it ain't nothing to fix because it's just your feelings?
Well, feelings don't matter. I don't understand how this relationship is going to work. Because when I start doing things, I don't start caring about your feelings. Oh, then it's going to be a problem.
But I think he's saying usually you're upset about something. So your feelings are attached to what? Like, what are you upset about? How can I fix that problem that bothers you versus just you're mad? Like, what did I do? How can I fix it?
You have to communicate the problem.
Yeah.
And say, hey, this is the issue. This is what I need you to do. This is what I need you to stop doing, or this is what I need you to start doing, or whatever it is. And you communicate that. And then
all that
hopefully
is
we'll
tone,
do it, but probably won't the first, second, third.
All that is tone, body gestures, everything.
And
like if your tone is off, if your body language is off, you ain't gonna get the response that you are seeking.
And emotional
if you keep pushing it, it's gonna be what B. Taylor got.
So the way I have learned, and it's because I was raised by my dad and my grandpa, I know that when men are angry, they need their space. And when they need their space, it's not like, oh, I don't need you, I don't want you in my life right now. Like, that's not the type of space. It's like they need their time to think and like meditate about what they did for some reason, because that's just how I see it with my grandpa and my dad. They will step away and then they will come back like 30 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever time they need it, and try to fix whatever they did. Right. Even if it was something that they were building, they made a mistake. I remember like they were building something and they effed up on that, and then they came back and they started like trying to fix it. So I have a brief story. I was dating this person, and it was the first time that he left me at his apartment by myself. He was going to the gym and he left me in the apartment. And I couldn't stay still. Like I started cleaning, but he was using like natural stuff, like, to clean the house. And it was like a lavender vinegar or something like that. And I didn't read the instructions. So I just splashed that thing on the floor, and it was a black tiles. So I stained the floor with the vinegar, and it was like a white stain, and I was trying to clean it. When he came back from the gym, that man was angry with me. He was so angry, and I'm trying to like fix. I'm like, let me help you,
Okay.
but I was like annoying at that point. I can tell that, like when he said, Saida, can you please just go to the room and stay there? Like he didn't have to scream or anything. And I didn't have to be like defensive, like, oh, I was trying to clean or whatever. And like, no, I literally went in the room and I tried to think like, man, I have like it doesn't matter. Like he didn't yell at me or he didn't scream or anything. But then of course, like I got emotional because I didn't do it intentionally, but I knew that it was valid, the reason why he was mad or upset. So I just wanted to say that why there's always has to be like fights or yelling or back and forth when you can actually talk about, hey, look, this is something that really bothers me, and I've already mentioned, because Kayla said, well, you have to do it again, but I already mentioned this. Like there's no need to raise your voice or like
you're not
yelling at each other or like getting into a fight when you can actually talk about things, and I told him, I'm sorry, I didn't read the instructions. I had to accept and admit what I did and I didn't do at that point. But it's just a matter of like talking about it. And I think that was the only one, fight, close to a fight that we ever had in like 6 months. So I think it's talking about it. Like if something happens, hey, if we can talk about it right now, let's talk about it. But if he says I need time, let him take the time, and then when he comes back, it's gonna be the time to talk about it.
But I feel like
how much time?
When you're not being heard.
It's his time. It's his time. Whatever time he needs to think about it.
I think as long as he comes back.
I got you, Kayla. Let B Taylor make her point. I got you.
I was saying that people sometimes yell because they're not being heard, and they feel like, okay, well, if you're not hearing me in a softer voice, then I'm gonna yell it.
Oh, you feel like you're not being heard.
I feel like I'm not being heard.
Okay,
yes.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So Kayla, what's the time frame? And again, it's not that the time frame is, again, if you gave him an actual problem to solve, he's going to come back with the solution as soon as humanly possible. Because don't nobody want to be arguing with you. You know what I'm saying? Because oh, you missed the hamper. You know what I mean? Nobody want to be arguing for that. But again, like I said, it should be an actual problem that you're discussing, not just something you feel a certain way about that's not happening in real life. That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I think.
Hold on, True. I got you, bro. And while I'm not out to hurt your feelings, right? I consider your feelings. I'm not responsible for your feelings. That's all I got, True.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I also think, however long it takes for that man to get back in the light space. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want not necessarily like just overly goofy, overly joking, but like again, man, your man, and when he pissed, and when he just like in that zone. Cause that's one thing about men. A lot of times, like when we get mad, we get silent because we be literally in our head plotting and trying to like think over the situation 1,000,001 times and try to see, okay, where did I go wrong? How could I handle this differently, or whatever the case may be? But at some point over that time, he begins to lighten up. He may come back in, to be in the same room with you, for one, because in the heat of it, we don't want to be nowhere around your ass. So we gonna more times than not either go in the other room, maybe walk out, walk down the street, walk around the apartment complex, whatever the case may be, and then when we come back in, then we in a light space. So in terms of giving you a time, that's hard because men's temperaments are different. You may have one dude that's way more patient, another dude that just has a short fuse, and it lasts longer. But I think if you know your man, when he back moving light again, when he's open to being around you and not it not being contentious. I think that's when you gauge it.
That's true, because after the game thing, he slept on the couch for a few days, but then he bought me food, so I was like, okay, all right.
A few days.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
How many days?
I don't want to get into details.
Girl, turning that game off that's a sin. You hear me? That's in the Bible. You don't do that.
That's a fact. Folks might have been right in the middle of the championship game, or he might have been playing Call of Duty. He might have had a 20-20 ratio.
Well, if the only thing I would say is that it would make a difference, like if he was a gamer and that this was part of his livelihood, and like
It's a way for him to
he would
release his
lose
stress.
money, right? But if he didn't actually lose anything but some points,
Kayla,
Kayla, for real, we gonna put it on there. That's
okay,
right
no. Okay, yeah,
that's
my brother
cold.
gets pretty crazy about the game.
Come on,
but
man.
for the most part, most of the men that I've dated and late, they don't play video games. So I'm not, and I don't know.
Yeah,
So what did they do for stress relief?
They like to go play golf, play basketball at the gym, go hang out with their friends.
So look, just imagine you went to the gym.
cars.
Just imagine you went to the gym while he was playing ball and still wanted to argue.
Really? No, I don't think it's about arguing. I think it's just about working things out. I just don't like when things are under the
I
rug.
don't think it's a problem if a man takes his time to cool off and comes back to have the conversation, just as long as he is open to revisiting the conversation. Sometimes men will leave, come back, and act like it never happened, and you're waiting to resolve it, and he just doesn't bring it up, and he doesn't want you to bring it up.
He's like, "You want something to eat?"
So if as long as it's revisited,
I'm okay
and we
with
can
that.
talk about it once you're calm. I don't think there's a problem with giving you your space to calm down.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it also goes back to what Ricky said about it actually being a issue. A lot of times, like an issue to solve. So a lot of times if we come back and we just want to forget about it, then we know it ain't gonna be no win anyway. We're gonna have our discussion and we're gonna agree to disagree in terms of how you feel or whatever the case may be. But if it's something that's like critical to this relationship, like, hey baby, I need you to move like this a little more because this right here is like putting us in a bad spot, maybe a financial perspective or, you know, whatever, like, or just utter disrespect. You know what I'm saying? Because we in a social media era, and it's you know, it can get a bit disrespectful if boundaries are not clear. So I think in that type of situation, again, that's a problem to solve. But if say you get mad because I don't know, because like women are creative in what they get mad at. Like y'all get mad at anything. That's honest. That's honest.
No,
man.
I just think people have different like needs and wants, and so that's why I'm saying, like, does it have to be something that is like super serious? Like people have different pet peeves, and it's just like little things that you know he just doesn't like, so you don't do them.
Right.
Not serious, and so it's the same for you. Like this is little things that he knows that you hate. He knows you hate. You know, it could be a little thing, but he knows you don't like it, so he doesn't do it. Does it have to always be some big thing that's
no,
logical? Sometimes it could just be about how you feel because you're in a relationship with another human being.
But you gotta learn to pick your battles, though. That's all I'm saying. Learn to pick your battles.
Well, of course.
And oftentimes presentation, which is what we're about to get into in just a second, man. After we pay these bills, man. Salute to all the Crusaders. Crusaders is in the building.
But I didn't get to answer the question.
Oh, you didn't get the answer? All right, damn.
I'll wait till you
my
pay
bad.
the bills, though.
All right, yeah, bet everybody, man. Shout out to the Crusaders in the building, man. If y'all have not liked the stream, make sure that y'all like the stream. Salute to the Mars. I see Jana May in the building holding shit down. JC in the building. I see y'all doing y'all thing, man. Shout out to everybody in the building. Make sure y'all like the stream. If y'all have not, stop what you are doing right now and like the stream. First and foremost, shout out to Byron, the creator, with the 2-piece. He says salute to the, you know what I'm saying? Salute to the panel. We appreciate you, bro, for coming through, man, and donating for sure.
Hi, Byron, the creator. Thank you.
Miss Morgan Danae with the 5-piece. She said, premarital counseling helped me realize how big of an issue proper communication is in almost everybody's relationship. It's a journey. I would agree. And women think that they are masters of communication, and we're going to get into just how untrue that is somewhere down the line. And this Queen, relax. I see you back there. But yeah, Congo English in the building with the 10-piece, man. We appreciate you, gang. That right there is family. Salute to bro. Say Trill and Dean, much respect. Hope all is well, brothers. We appreciate you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But presentation. I did. Oh, damn. Hold tight. Let me make sure I get them. Tap in the building. The accountability partner with the 5-piece says, by the way, if there's nothing to quote unquote resolve, we don't revisit it just to hear you talk in circles. It's a fact. Going back to what Ricky was saying. It's a fact. It got to be something to actually solve. But presentation. Oftentimes we hear on these panels in real life, tone is important. delivery is important. So I want to ask the panel. Well, hold on. Wait a minute. I take that back. Kelly got to answer the question that I asked last first, and then we'll go ahead and move on to the new one. Because I don't want you to be taking notes and then you don't be able to get it off.
You remembered me.
Of course.
So the question was something about when in a relationship did you not communicate well or something like that?
Right. So yeah, what was a time in a relationship, something that you had trouble communicating to your partner?
So I wrote down, and I won't drag this out, because in a relationship I'm a pleaser. I always want to make sure like my man is good and he's taken care of. So I have trouble telling him when something bothers me, because I'm always worried about if he's okay. Is everything okay? Do you need things? Everything okay? Are you good? And like, to the point where if something's bothering me, men don't usually notice. They're just like, oh, I'm happy, I'm good. But if I don't express that something's bothering me, it just gets pushed away. Like, I don't ever bring it up. Like, the guy literally has to be like, are you okay? So you just seem off. You seem like something's not quite right. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. Everything's good. I'm fine. He literally has to dig for it. And I'm like, okay, well, this did happen. And then they go into like problem solving mode. Like, but I just don't like to bring it up. I don't want to look like I have like problems. So I don't even bring it up. So like, no, everything's happy and bubbles and rainbows. Yay.
So quick question. You said that like he gotta dig for it oftentimes to find out what's wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a big thing. Like say something happened at work. Maybe something bothered me, but he notices my demeanor's off. He'll have to be like, well, what happened? Is everything okay? I'll just be like, no, everything's fine. I won't even bring it up to talk about it. So, something like that.
Okay, that's interesting, because like oftentimes women complain to us about us doing the same thing in terms of them having to dig for what's wrong. Like, and women are like flies at a damn barbecue. Like, we'll say nothing and she'll just keep, no, are you sure? No, let's talk about it. No, let's right now. Are you sure? No, because you acting different. Something off. You got an attitude. You got this. You got that. So, you know, I know like how much of a grievance that is for y'all, but it's interesting hearing that it's the, you know, that y'all actually do the same thing.
I hate having it. It's like, ugh.
See,
come on with it.
But see,
I know something's wrong. Just tell me.
Right. Just tell me what's going on. And like, also, like, sometimes I think that it would benefit men and women for men to tell the woman what he needs when he's doing so. So like, this was one thing my ex actually did. Sometimes he would be like, I just need you to listen. And then there's other times he would be like, I need your advice. And there's other times he would be like, you know, play devil's advocate on this for me. Like, he would tell me what he wanted out of whatever it is he was communicating to me. Also, because, you know, I could just talk all day. So he's smart, you know. And so then I would know like what he needs from me at that moment. If I just need to just not say anything, just listen. He just need to vent, you know, or if he wants me to give my input, like what he wants. I do think that like that's something that couples could make things work better.
No, that's definitely valid. I think that goes both ways in terms of like y'all telling us what it is specifically that y'all need from us, because we hear this a lot, right? Like, man, the problem solvers, and I just want to vent. Like, it would be nice if y'all led with, hey, babe, I just want to vent. I don't need you to solve it. This is just what I'm going through, and then that'll make our job a lot easier. So now that definitely goes both ways for sure. Critical information. Real quick though, we're gonna get back to presentation, man. Tone, delivery, tone police. My question is this: do y'all feel like delivery and tone is as important as people make it out to be, or is it a way for them to duck accountability in terms of what they're hearing from their partner?
Delivery and tone is everything. Because some people may not even receive it. So you can be saying it and it could just fall on a brick wall, like deaf ears. They're not even receiving what you're saying. So I think it's good to learn how your partner receives information and make proper adjustments. Because I don't like to be yelled at. So if you're yelling at me, you might as well just go talk to the wall, because I'm not listening to you. because that's not how I was raised. We were raised to communicate. If there's an issue, we sit down and we talk it out and we come to a resolve. I remember the first guy I ever dated who yelled at me. I was just like taken aback, like, well, why are you yelling? And he stopped and he was just like, I don't know. It's just what we do in my family. Yeah, I don't do that. So let's figure out another way to communicate, because I'm not doing the yelling thing with you.
So for me, I have to agree with Kelly. Also from an educational standpoint, I used to love language. I was in AP language. I love that. So like what tone does is it communicates the strength or effervescence of what it is that you're trying to say, like the mood. So I can say, girl, get out of my face. I can say, girl, get out of my face. It's two different things. One is the way that, like, with your friend, they're going to receive it two different ways. So I do think that tone and delivery are everything, especially if it's like something very critical, because there's no time frame, or, you know what I mean, that's going to make whatever you're saying better. You just have to make sure you say it in a tone where they can try to receive it, if it's something difficult. But I do think that tone matters. But
I think that's why texting is can be problematic.
Oh,
texting
texting's
don't know
so
in
problematic.
Which tone you said it.
It's
you could be
so
like, sure, or sure, or sure. Like, which sure were you meaning? I don't even know, because you don't know how they were saying it.
Yeah.
Text me.
Yeah, send me the voice note. Hold the thing down and let me hear what you got to say.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I was muted. It's all about what the person also perceives as well, because I have this problem at work. Like, we all have a tone with each other and not realize it. So you could be saying one thing, but you really are saying like F you, or you're dumb, or like, you can say you're helping me, but the way you're saying it is like coming off where I'm like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's like you're saying one thing, but behind it you're meaning something else.
It's the nice nasty.
The nice nasty.
And some of our most feminine women love the nice nasty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Frenemies,
like, you'll just say, oh, I think I solved, and they'll be like, well, aren't you just the smartest one in here?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, bitch, I'll fuck you up. Who are you talking to? Like,
and then you the bad person when you check.
Right, but that was so. It's like without tone, you don't know. It's without tone. There's no condescending.
You won't get that in
without
email.
tone. There's no satire. There's no sarcasm. There's none of it without tone, because you're still saying the same thing. You're just saying it in a different way, and you're implementing it in a different part of the conversation to make it be what it is that you want it
They'll
to
be
be.
like, oh, honey, that's so cute. I'm like, what do you say, bitch? Like,
Bitch, I'm not the one. No.
Okay, smooth. I see my boy Ricky shaking his head. I already know what he's gonna say.
I already know what Ricky's gonna say.
Smooth. How important is tone? Is tone really as important as people say it is, or are they trying to duck accountability?
I think it's both. I think a lot of people they reflect, oh, to watch your tone, watch it, just so I'm saying, you don't throw them off day square and have them thinking about something else on how you perceived it. You get what I'm saying? So I think it's both, man. I think it's both. And I think a lot of people don't never grow out of that. Never grow out of that. That's just like them breathing air, so to speak, because they've never checked that part of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they don't allow no one to check that part of them.
Saida?
Yeah, I've heard a couple of times where you say like, oh, that's because a woman doesn't have a man, like a father in her life. And when her father has treated the woman well, then she obviously have someone to refer to and compare to. And I'm like, I don't want no one to talk to me differently than how my dad talks to me. And that's a problem. And men think like, oh, just I can talk to you whatever I want. Not even my dad talks to me like that. And I have to say that the tone, the attitude matters. Sometimes my dad is been really upset at something. And what I've noticed that changes is that I don't get like confronting him. I don't confront him. I just stay quiet. And even when I know he's wrong, I just stay quiet. And then I wait for him to finish. And then I'm like, okay, so what I was trying to say is this and this and that. And then he stays quiet and he's like, oh, okay. So he kind of like thinks and meditates or whatever, stops to think, okay, that's what she was trying to say. I didn't want to over talk to him or anything, like yell at him or confront him. It was just a matter of like, okay, I'm going to let you speak. And once you're done, can I speak now? Because he also do that sometimes. But it's kind of like you have to get to know how the other person communicates and let them talk, like if they want to say something, let them talk. Because I've been in the position where with a man that he was very emotional and he was like emotional. And I'm saying as a woman, he was very emotional. He would like talk a lot. And I'm like, are you done yet? Like, like he would get like
trying to express his feelings.
I mean, yeah, but I would respect that. Like I would respect it. But I'm like, can I say?
But even Sayana, in the tone that you would say it, I can see somebody still taking it wrong because like my mom would be condescending and be like, "Are you finished? Oh no, I just want to make sure that you're finished because I don't like to talk over people. We can't hear each other when each other is talking. So I want to make sure that you're done."
No. Like you just stay quiet. You just stay quiet. What I do is like I just stay quiet, and then like when they're like they feel like it's awkward, the silence is awkward. I'm like, so, can I talk now? Or like, it's my time. Is it my time to talk? I don't know. Are you done? Like now with an attitude.
Are you done or are you finished?
I'm just making sure that it's my time to say something, but I didn't want her to disrespect. That's the best way. You know what? When you have a customer on the line, let them vent. Let them vent. That's what it is. Let them vent, and then once they are vent out, they have nothing else to say because they say whatever they have to say.
You know what I get from y'all saying that just now? Women are petty.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yes.
Women are petty.
And I just want to make sure that you were done so that I can go because we can't hear one another when you're speaking and while I'm speaking. So I want to let you finish. Or are you done or are you finished?
You let the customer talk, let them vent. Don't over talk to them. Okay? Be kind. And don't use any type of sarcasm. Let them say whatever they have to say and then be like, okay, now can I help you now?
Sarcasm is the best.
No, it's not. It doesn't help. Where is it taking you though? Like it doesn't take you anywhere. It just makes the problem bigger and bigger. And it's just like, no.
No, it's the best. Sarcasm's the best.
Y'all gotta relax, man. Queen, man. When we get to discussing, tone, delivery, is that as important as people say it is, or are people just using it to duck accountability?
No, it's important. I mean, tone is everything. Even in music, the wrong tone could throw off an entire song. So let's just start there, right? If somebody's off tone, even in like bands. Opera, tone is everything. And I think it translates over to relationships and communication. So I'm siding with the women. I have to ride with them. Yeah. Now imagine that in a relationship, tone. The wrong tone could completely tear apart a nice date, a nice gesture, all because of the wrong tone. I have a problem not with the verbal, but more the nonverbal, that silent venom that people like to inflict. So that's where I struggle with tone. Take your time, have your one-on-one time, have your quiet time. But it's that energy, that toxic venom that you put behind it. That's where I struggle. Yeah.
Ricky, I've been waiting to hear, man.
Yes,
Go
sir.
ahead, bro.
Tone is used to control the narrative, right? When you want to police a person's tone. Because like I said, the tone only applies to something that people don't want to hear. It only applies to something a person don't want to hear. God damn it, you won $1 million. You motherfucker. You still gonna take that $1 million.
Yay!
You gonna celebrate, you gonna pop flips in the grass. But when it's something you don't want to hear, something you want to get your point off of, oh, you know what? I don't like your tone. I don't like the way you expressing yourself. The only thing that matters is the message. That's it. Did you get the message? Did you?
I just don't agree with that. Some things are
That's
sensitive.
cool, and that's cool. Like I said,
Like if you're telling your girl she's getting overweight, I think a better approach would be like, "Yo, babe, you probably should go to the gym. You're getting a little thick over there." Versus saying, "You're getting fat as fuck, babe." Like, come on.
Because
it matters.
Because women, y'all rather eat sugar-coated shit, right? Before just accepting the truth at most times. Again, if it was a message you wanted, if I took you out and I had that $30,000 ring you wanted, no matter how I said it, you're gonna be like, "Oh, God damn it, look at them carrots." Whatever. Semantics, Stone. Semantics. You know what I'm saying?
No.
But this is the thing, right?
Semantics.
Are you done?
Are you done?
No, I'm not done, but now I'm finished.
Right? And and I hate to say it, right? Ladies, y'all are one of the biggest proponents of this, right? The same way, again, y'all use words and use tone to control arguments and conversations, also to throw fake disses and bullshit at people, right? You my bitch. You seen that bitch, right? That's what y'all do.
Do you talk that? Okay, so if tone doesn't, and it's used to control how you talk to people, do you use that same tone when you're at work? How you talk to your coworkers, how you talk to your boss?
Yep. Because that's what's wrong with black folks. You see what I'm saying? This what happened. Be you. Y'all go in that interview with y'all suit and tie, y'all put on a fake persona, right? And then that's what your job expect throughout the time of your career. So then when it's finally something that's messing with you, something that don't rock with you and you blow up, right? Everybody looking at you funny because they never seen it from you. And I'm not, hold on, B. I'm not talking about being disrespectful. I'm talking about be you.
We can't be us. Black women don't have that flexibility and that privilege to show up as we are.
Especially in corporate. It's not too many of us. I work in the news business. It's not too many of us in there. So therefore, I have to watch my tone. And I actually had an issue where people thought I was being aggressive because of how I was saying things. So now I have to really watch my tone.
How'd you come into it though?
Coming off as aggressive.
How'd you come into it though?
And it was stopping me from being promoted and moving up in the ladder because I got labeled the angry Black girl, the combative person. So tone is very important. And I think it's very important in a relationship as well.
Again, my question, as I said before, B. Taylor, again, no disrespect to none of y'all. What I'm saying is this. What tone did you set coming in the door, right? Did you let them know that, hey, this is me, I can get bucks? I'm telling y'all, when at my job right now, while I'm a contractor, in my interview, I let them know, hey, don't nobody disrespect me. I'm here to do my job, blah, 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 blah. When my boss asks me something, I'm direct. I speak to him as a man, the same way I speak to y'all. So that way, when you come at me foul, anybody, you gonna get the same response.
It's not the same. I'm sorry. I mean, I would love it. I would love for it to be, but it's not. We're deemed incooperative, insubordinate, aggressive, bitchy.
You talking to a black man,
hard to work with, dominant, attitude, and that's shit that we probably don't talk about when we come home. Yeah.
Y'all talking I'm a black man that work in a profession where ain't nothing but white people where I'm at. Nothing but it. But like I said, you got to set the correct expectations for people. And if y'all coming in there and y'all talking like, oh, hi, Becky, how are you? Then that's what they're going to expect. And then what happens is when you finally go off the rails, they looking at you like you crazy.
Yeah, but Ricky, I get where you're coming from, but that only applies to certain professions.
Yeah.
If you're a contractor, if you're an accountant, if you're in IT, no one cares about your personality or how you say stuff. It don't matter. But if you work in any kind of job that depends on soft skills, meaning how you talk to people, how you talk to customers, how you present yourself, there's a company culture at every corporation that they expect you to adhere to. And that's just the reality. And I don't have an issue with it because when I have my company, I expect the people that work for me to conduct themselves in a particular way as well. So I don't, I get it. You're a contractor or people who work in IT and finance. You know what I'm saying? Your value is different. It's not based on soft skills in any way.
How can you say that when you don't know what I do? Again, you're assuming.
she's assuming based on how she's assuming based on what you share. You share that I'm able to show up, hold on, just as I am at work, and you women should do the same. And all we're saying is we feel like we don't have that flexibility.
What did you just say?
I think you used the wrong term because you just said I feel like, so that disregarded everything you just said.
How you know it when you ain't even tried it yet?
That's
how you
that's
know.
what I think we're saying. That's where we've gotten the feedback and got our hands smacked.
No. I have tried it.
Marketing and sales, so it's never going to be the same. It's never going to be.
But like I said, look, the truth of the matter is, right? Every single one of y'all women talk about tone and delivery. That's some y'all shit. Men, we don't operate like that. We don't. If I got a problem with a man, I address him as a man, with my voice, with my chest, with my ego, because as a man, you got a problem with me.
I mean, that sounds great and all, but the people that cut your checks, it's just not the same.
Like I said, it's a man shit you wouldn't know. So
it ain't got nothing to do with being a man. It got to do with power. Not all men, not all humans that have penises,
but you're not a man.
Power to move around like that.
You're not a man. You're not a man.
But again, it doesn't matter. You don't have all men. Don't have that power. And it's dangerous.
It doesn't to you, but this is my life. This is my life. And I live it every day. And I live it every day.
Yeah, but that's your life. You're trying to make a sentiment for all men, and it doesn't work. I don't want men going out here to they can talk to their boss. You have kids to feed. Okay,
you have to be
your own business, and then you can do that. But if you work for someone else and you have a family to feed, don't be spreading that dangerous behavior that they need to go say it with their chest and with their ego and doing all this extra shit. No, you need to take care of your family. Times is hard enough. I don't know what you're talking about.
So answer me this. Since when did me being a man become a detriment to not taking care of your family?
I think you're confusing, Ricky. I'm gonna have to get on you. I'm going in. I'm sorry. You're confusing. Okay. There's two separate components here that we're talking about: manhood versus communication style. And I think you're weaving the two to position your argument. Nobody's questioning how you position yourself as a man. All we're saying is your communication style doesn't necessarily benefit us if we showed up like that at work. That's it.
Okay.
Sayada, go ahead.
Well, first off, I have to say that in my country, if your boss talks to you in a way that is disrespecting your feelings or your persona, he gets fired. Because there's one different thing being just a regular employee and being a leader. Because when you are in a leadership position, you have to watch your tone and the way you talk to people. Because if you want to be respected, nobody's going to respect you just because you say you are a leader, but because you are actually in that position. So that's one thing when you're managing a company is different, way different. You don't talk to people just like that unless you work with them like for years and they're associates and they kind of have the equal rights, but you don't talk down like people like that. Well, at least here.
Nobody said talk down.
I am saying, I know, I get you. I understand what you're saying. I understand that you're saying, and help me understand this is what you're saying. What you're saying is that your personality, that you're not fake. This is who you are. But I'm not saying that you're disrespecting others, but you're not gonna fake nothing. At least that's what I'm understanding.
This is what I'm saying, Saya. This is what I'm saying. A lot of times, if we talking about tone, if we talking about things of that nature, especially when it comes to the work environment, right? I'm not saying I'm out of pocket when I talk to people. What I'm saying is this: you gonna get me regardless of what, and it's gonna be the truth. So if I'm telling the truth, whether it's a work environment, a home environment, a relationship environment, how is that detrimental? How is
I
that?
get it now. But my question to you is do you have people it's under your supervision?
Yes.
Okay. And do you talk to them like that?
I talk to them from A to B. This is what we need to do. This is what we need to get done.
Yeah, I get it. Yes. But do you talk to them in a way that they feel disrespected? Has anyone complained that you're disrespectful?
No.
Because the tone that you're using right now is like, oh, whatever I say, this is what is done, period, because I say so. So
No, that's how y'all
tone
take
matters.
it. That's
No,
how
no.
y'all take it.
No, I'm not taking it that way. I guess that's how you're projecting yourself. I'm believe me, I'm trying to understand everything that you're saying. And because I work with different people, and again, I said it, human resources, I know that you're not supposed to talk to people like that when you're in a leadership position. In a company, in your house, you're the leader. Why are you going to talk to people like that? You know, you're
Talk to
not.
people how.
And then that was my first point. And then lastly, I wanted to say that you don't talk the same way that you talk to men to women. You don't, because the way of communication is different, way different. So you expect women to understand you as men, but you want to talk to us like if we are men, and we are not. And you have to understand that. Whether you like it or not, you're trying to change our nature. Either you want a man or you want a woman. Because if you want a woman, we are emotional. Get it together.
Made a point.
Simple as that. Understand that our way of communication is different.
It is.
Nobody liked it right now. I know your faces. I see.
True, you need to stand up on this one like you did on mine, paying rent.
Look here.
No, like I know you don't like it, but like men that actually
she spit facts, though. She spit facts, though. Why would you talk to us the way that you talk to
y'all? She's spitting facts for y'all because y'all females.
Because
why would you deal with us the way you deal with men?
I am not done yet. I'm not done yet.
Sorry,
so what I'm saying is that if you have the experience to talk to women, and when you're more empathetic, you get through it like for a longer period of time, just because you're being more understanding. I'm not saying I agree with everything that I say. I don't say I agree with everything that I feel. I don't say that. Just try to understand it, because what you're doing is try to change our biological, you know, this is us. This is our reality. Like the way I feel is not the way you feel. The way I think is not the way you think. The way I express myself is not the same way. It's not.
No shit. No shit. Y'all the ones who come out y'all fucking roles, not me. Not me. Y'all the ones sitting up here saying y'all want a man to be sensitive. Oh, show your sensitivity. Yeah. Hold on. I hold the fuck on, right? Y'all the ones who go on these panels in the world and try to turn men against their very nature. How you gonna try to use that argument against a man?
I am not trying to change anything. I'm not. I am understanding you I'm understanding you perfectly.
Let's stop understanding him for a second, because he needs to clarify what he's talking about. So we're going to remove understanding from the table, and I need you to explain what is our role.
Your role is to be a helpmeet. Your role is to bear children. Your role is to help me extend my legacy so we both can try and travel through this thing.
And what's your role?
My role
We're
is
talking about communication. Why are we talking about?
Hold on, let him finish.
My role is to provide. My role is to protect. My role is to provide my wife with a home, a house so she can make it a home. My job is to raise my children and take care of them the right way. And I'm going to do it my way, not yours. I'm going to do it my way, because ain't none of y'all, hold on, because ain't none of y'all going to be held responsible for me and mine. And if you don't like the way I spit the truth, don't listen. Because you ain't going to listen anyway, because you don't want to hear it. But let somebody you like spit it to you any old kind of way. Now, if you see $1,000 on the ground, you're going to pick it up. You don't care how it got there. You don't care how it got there. But because it's a message and it's coming from a person that you don't like, you don't agree with, or you don't like the way to deliver it, then it's, you know what? I really need you to talk to me a certain way. I really need you to present this to me in a fashion that I can understand and take it. Because now I want to be in my femininity.
So what? So
y'all always want me to talk to y'all a certain way. This has been the issue since I came on this network.
When did I just say that, Kayla? When did I say that?
Well, not this network, but since I came on to YouTube,
I didn't say nothing about you speaking to me.
No. I'm just speaking in general about the men in general have tone policed me since the beginning. And because I didn't speak in a very soft
Have I?
tone and I
Have
wasn't
I?
docile, I'm not talking about you, Ricky. It's not all
Okay,
about you
just
all the
want to
time.
make sure.
Sometimes
Just
people
want to
just
make sure.
talking about general things, emotional. I don't know. But I do think that I think that overall to say that tone doesn't matter just doesn't make any sense. We're all human beings. We all have feelings. This whole thing that you shouldn't have feelings and you shouldn't feel things is absolutely ridiculous. How you talk to women is not how you should talk to men. I think you could definitely be more aggressive with the way that you talk to men than the way you talk to women. And I think because I am a different kind of woman, that most women, when men talk to them aggressively, will shy away from it. But I'm a reflector. Whatever you give me is what I give you back. And so I think it's kind of crazy, when people sit up there and they say, it doesn't matter the tone, because I feel like a lot of my messaging definitely other people say. But because when I say it, because y'all don't like my tone, it's the thing. We could be sitting on a panel and I can say something and Anton, and then they'll be mad at me. And Anton will say the exact same thing and they'll say, preach. So y'all can kiss my ass, whatever that is.
I can actually say it's the aggressiveness behind the tone. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
and people don't like that.
But if everything that Ricky has said, if I do that to my boss, she is kind of right. I will get fired. So it only works like that with certain people. Certain people I can actually do that with. Certain people I actually can't do that with. So
in corporate, you can't do that. It will stop you.
Yeah.
You gotta play the game. There's a game to be played in corporate, especially as a Black person and as a woman. We have double,
but at the time, it actually comes with respect too, though. You know what I'm saying? It works both ways.
Right.
If my boss comes off to me in a disrespectful manner, I kind of got that right to get a little bit upset and say, you know what I'm saying? I don't think you should have said this or that and third. You know what I'm saying? But if my wife comes off to me like that, I will, you know what I'm saying, do the exact same thing. I don't think you should have said it like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's also a tone thing,
It's respect. You have to understand, if somebody feels disrespected, you have to acknowledge how you made that person feel as well. And especially someone, and you're trying to move up, because the people that's higher up, people that's getting paid and promoted, those are people that's playing the game. They're playing it smart. They know how to talk to people. They made friends, even if they don't like none of them. None of these people know that they don't like them because they're playing the game and they watch how they talk to people. And that's how you win in society, is moving up and playing the game. You can't go around talking to people any type of way and not caring how they feel, because we're human beings and by nature we have feelings and we can't ignore them, especially women.
All right, real quick, man. It's been a hell of a discussion. I want to welcome to the stage Booker Ronan, Anime, Damien, Malcolm Gates. Welcome to the stage. Again, man, we just up here talking about tone. We talking about delivery. We talking about communication in general. I just want to get y'all thoughts, on, because again, we nearing the end. So I said I wanted this episode to be solution based. So what does effective communication look like?
I say effective communication looks like you applying that emotional intelligence, being able to read how people receive the message for maximum effect. I don't have to go full-blown military mode on certain people. If they know, they know. Some people receive it in a certain way. That's why learning not just the communication styles, how they receive stuff. That's what helped me with in the military and outside of it. So again, it's like you setting the standard, leading by example most of the times, and establishing those parameters, de-escalation of force sometimes. So that's my I just want to hear what everybody else says too.
I think effective communication is kind of varies depending on who you're talking to. Like how I effectively talk to my male friends is different how I talk to the females that are in my life. And that's just the way it is. It's like a lot of times with the women, I think you need to, if there's something that's an issue, you need to acknowledge the emotion behind the issue as well as not just the issue and try to come up with a solution to fix the issue. Like, if a woman is upset about something, they want to hear that you understand why they're upset, not just, well, why don't you just do it this way? That'll solve that problem. It's like like Ricky said this earlier, it's like we are inherently problem solvers. And that's how we would tell it to another male. It would be, oh man, you can't do that. Well, why don't you do this? And it'll fix it. And a man would take that and receive that and be like, yeah, you know, that's right. That probably worked the best way. That's thanks for helping me out. A woman, but they need you to acknowledge and not just gloss over the emotion that was attached to that situation. And I think that's where effective communication can become. We can normalize effective communication if we realize that women and men communicate on different wavelengths.
Want to add real quick, if we actually remove the selective hearing and outrage in these conversations, we can actually have some effective communication.
Well said. Anime, what you think about this, bro? Effective communication, what does that look like?
I think effective communication is you do have to, like I said in the chat earlier, you can learn to adjust the way that you speak to somebody if it makes it easier. Because I was in the military too, so I know that like your NCOs, they don't speak to everybody the same way because not everybody responds to it. Some people need that more like direct push. Other
if you're in boot camp, they do.
Yeah. In boot camp, everybody getting that. Everybody getting that.
Getting it.
It don't matter. Everybody getting
my
that.
Bad.
Same
I didn't interrupt you. My bad.
Oh no, you good. But yeah, so like once you get into that leadership position, you're like, some people just like, hey man, I need you to go do this, and then some of them you gotta be like, hey, this time, you gotta be out there doing this. But I think the overall issue is that a lot of people use tone as an excuse to ignore the message.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the point that Ricky was trying to harp on, is that a lot of people use the emotion that they feel from the message to decide if they're going to accept the message. It's kind of like if I say, hey, the sky is blue versus, hey, the sky is fucking blue. Sorry for cutting. It doesn't change the fact that the sky is still blue. You don't just get to say, well, I don't like the way you said that the sky is blue, so that must mean the sky isn't blue, it's probably green. Like, that's not how it works. I know it's a random ass example, but that's just like the first thing that came to my head. Or it's like if someone's in your face and you're like, hey, can you please like leave me alone versus, hey, leave me alone. It doesn't change the fact that you need to leave me alone. Now you can come back later and tell me like you don't like me raising my voice and I can adjust it. But that does, because I said it a certain way, doesn't mean that you should still just stand there and continue to be in my face.
Yeah.
Okay, so the example you use, like the sky is blue or the sunset, like you could say, oh wow, the sunset is so beautiful, and then you can say like, look at the fucking sun. Like it takes away the beauty of the moment when you say it like that.
But nobody's gonna say it like that. Nobody's gonna say this. What you call it? Nobody's gonna say.
I'm just going off of his example. That can be like, leave me alone. Like if somebody was in a room, hey, can you just leave me alone? Like I need to be by myself. It's different because it's like now you have a sense of concern for them, where you're like, all right, I'll leave you alone, but if you need anything, let me know. Instead of, can you just leave me alone? It's like, okay, well, fuck you. Like I don't care anyway. Like
tone definitely is the illustrator of your emotion behind your response. It's you know, if somebody is saying like your husband, if he like with the whole game thing, and that was wild though. I'm with the fellas.
Yeah, that's
was way out of pocket for that. Oh my god! If I ever get up on this panel again and you on there, that's gonna be something.
She would never. Especially because she knows the like gaming is my escape. She would never disrespect me by coming in here and turning my PS5 off. She would never.
So like I said, the tone, your tone, it reflects the emotion behind it. Like for example, if you would have said, "I need to talk to you," if he'd have said, "I only got 5 minutes left," that's different from you pulling the plug out. And he was like, "I only got 5 minutes left." You know, that's a totally different thing. It illustrates the what level of emotional. Where his emotions are in the response, and I think that happens regardless of the situation. Your tone it portrays your emotion. It lets people know exactly where you are with your response, and you can't hide it. There's you know, I know we've been using these. Oh, you know, I'm gonna give you $1 million, yelling, but there's no emotion behind that. you can't really use those as realistic examples because nobody's going to yell at you in your face in a threatening manner. I'm gonna give you $1 million. It's, it's just one of those things. So
to give an example, I don't know. I feel like it goes. I was scrolling through something on YouTube and I found Caught in the Act. It's a new show that Tammy Roman is doing. That's basically like Cheaters, right?
Oh man,
I don't know what it is, but this lady, the way that she, like, these people be upset, they be yelling, they be screaming, they be pissed, and somehow she's able, like her tone, the way she talks and the way she communicates with them, she's able to get them to like calm down and hear her, and it's so powerful. I was like, wow, Tammy has really grown. The way she was like able to talk to them, and I was just like, wow, like I was so impressed. Because obviously, if you catch somebody cheating, you're literally confronting a cheater or whatever the situation is. Emotions are high, but the way you communicate in those moments is what's going to make it either effective or drama.
Well, Tammy's removed. She's not the one being cheated on. Let Tammy get cheated on. She's gonna wild out.
Well, she has been cheated on.
If you apart from it, if you are not, if it doesn't directly affect you apart from it, then it's more easy to be that calming, have that calming, soothing tone, and be objective in the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, emotion. I'm the one who wrote emotion is the when emotion is involved, you lose objectivity. So and objectivity is what makes true and realistic understanding possible. So, and that's what I'm saying. It's like if you are emotionally involved, your tone will be reflected. Your reflects your emotions all the time. So
I think we've seen Tammy Roman have some of her worst days in front of the camera on reality television. So I think compiled with her ability to be able to communicate effectively, she also has experience. So those people probably trust her, which is a plus, right? I'm just piling on to what you said, Kayla. She has that experience. People have seen her, quote unquote, beat bitches up, fight over men, be a non-effing factor, over somebody sleeping with her ex-husband.
Right.
So I think that plays a big part.
And this is goes what everybody said earlier. She's getting a check too, so she got to make sure she act right. True. She ain't messing up. She ain't fumbling that bag.
And it is television. However, someone that's recently worked in television, not everything is scripted, especially when people are mad and upset. That's just not scripted. But it's heated for sure. So
with all due respect,
I don't know nothing about the person. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I was just saying, like, with all due respect, Kayla, according to people governing their life through reality TV, they going through relationships and everything scripted. That's their fault. And there's another element that we don't add into. We don't pay attention to the person's body language because that tells a level.
Yeah.
I was exactly about to say that, like, nonverbal communications is a lot when you're in, and this is more like coaching.
Yeah.
In order for you to actually, show that, because there's also an attitude. Your tone is one thing, but your attitude doesn't show much of aggressiveness.
Yeah.
That also matters. It definitely matters. So I would say that when you're giving feedback to someone, if feedback is not negative, it's not negative. It's how you take it. Feedback is always good to make you improve. So it's how you deliver the feedback. That's what the problem is. Like, people don't know how to deliver feedback because there is a technique, we call it sandwich technique. You always mention what is being done good, like what is being, okay. Then you also say the areas of improvement. And then you finally say, hey, this is what we're going to continue to work on, and kind of like a commitment type of thing. So, it's how you deliver it. So that's all I want.
Do you all think that there are any situations where it is acceptable to kind of be intense like that outside of entertainment? Because obviously I was a dancer, so I've auditioned for a number of companies and, talent agents, and like, it's brutal. They'll be like, you look a mess. You look awful. You know what I mean? There's no mercy. You know what I mean? When it comes to entertainment, anyone that's an actor, singer, dancer, musician, they know. But do y'all think there's any other instant where like that, because tone don't matter in those instances? Like, they the casting people, you just hear the audition. How you feel don't matter. But outside of entertainment, do y'all think there's any other space where like that's acceptable?
I mean, there's certain people who motivated by that. I run a SOS team, and it's like there's certain people that have each person has individual motivation and things I can do to kind of coach them to that next level. So people react to that in a positive manner. They react to, I just need to hear it how it is. I don't care, because that's where I relate to. That's what I respect. So yeah, you got to learn your people. I'm like, yeah, some people I can be like, man, you fucking up. If you don't stop that bullshit, I'm gonna have to do X, Y, and Z, and you ain't gonna like it. That's the way it is. And some people you can't do that with. And I have to change my tone to so people can effectively hear what I'm saying and apply it. Because some people can't get past the tone to hear the message. So it's ineffective to all people. But yeah, there's been times I've had people on teams that I've directed that where they get, that's how they get down. And like you said, they're used to that in their family. They're used to that in their private lives and their relationships. So that's what resonates with them in order to affect change. So yeah, I think it's possible.
To address your question, Kayla, when it talks about security of the home, we're talking about sports, we're talking about things of first aid, things that need expediency. We can't be worried about tone and feelings. Okay. Get it done. Things like that. But it goes into reading the situation. That's why I said reading body language. It'll let you know how to approach it effectively rather than just go head on with your feelings and then both of you guys are just at each other and not getting anything done. It goes back to Trill's point, effective communication.
Yeah, I agree. I think just, the term effective is the key word here, man. I think, a lot of times we get caught up in our emotions. We get caught because we human. Everybody has emotions. Certain circumstances will bring them up out of you, and not a communication is sacrificed. I would define effective communication as getting the job accomplished that I'm trying to get accomplished. Yeah. However, I got to get there. It's multiple routes to get there, and depending on who I'm dealing with, some one type of communication may work better than the other ones. I played football for most of my life, so again, coach will tell you in a second. I don't coach everybody the same way. Right. It's because this player right here responds better when I'm getting dead on his ass, telling him you trash, sorry, you need to get your ass on that block, get your ass in that weight room, do whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. And this player right here responds better when I pull him to the side, be like, look, man, your ass is better than that, bro. Like you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this. So at the end of the day, I think effective communication is getting the mission accomplished, whatever that may be. If I'm trying to get a constructive criticism across that's change behavior, then I need to figure out what type of communication you respond to best by. And especially if we talking about marriage or something. If you talking about just regular dating somebody that you could replace, then that's another conversation. Replace that motherfucker with somebody that's more in line with your level of communication. But if we in a serious relationship or marriage, neither one of us ain't going nowhere. Right. So we got to figure out what is the best way for us to, get the point that we're trying to get across. And again, that goes both ways.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my definition of effective communication, getting whatever goal I'm trying to get accomplished.
I have one more question. I know this is your show, Trillo. I'm sorry.
No, you all right. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, do you guys agree that this is also matters, not just in relationships, but with your children?
Yes.
Because I remember my mom saying that, she had to parent me and my brother differently. That he was the type where she had to like yell at him and tell him like, this is ridiculous, and that would motivate him to be like, I'm better than this. With me, she more had to pull me to the side and be like, hey, I'm really disappointed because I know you are better than this. And that will motivate me. But like the yelling at me thing didn't work. And like the whole just being nice and motivating him thing didn't work. So like, do y'all see that in parenting? I guess our parents.
Yes.
I agree, because I was a sensitive child. We had that conversation before the show started. I was very, very sensitive. You can yell at me, I would start crying. You could say something to me, my feelings are hurt. I'm just like, I can't listen to anything you're saying because I'm crying. My sister, on the other hand, she's like, I don't care, like whatever, it doesn't bother me. Like she was always the one that was unbothered, and I was the one that was like, my feelings are hurt. And she's like, girl, it's not even that serious. But places I was a kid, so that's just part of my personality trait. Like, so it is a certain way to talk to me, but it does work against me because it in my relationship, I cry on the drop of a dime, and he like, I guess it just does something to him as a man, And I guess it's manipulation because it's like, you know, I
Yes.
you cry.
You know what you're doing.
Like, I can't even say anything to you because you're just gonna cry. And I'm like, I can't. Oh, man. So
Men
it's
hate
like,
when their women cry. It hurts
yeah,
them. They hate seeing it.
With my 3 kids, there's a common tone that's there that they all respond to, but individual correction, I do kind of tailor it for who's listening. My daughter, I correct her different than I do my 2 sons. So yes, I 100% agree. It's just like you got to understand who you're talking to for it to know if it's landing or if you just, breaking their soul, So
Yeah, that's real and real quick, man. Ladies, y'all got to stop doing that bullshit, man. Crying in the middle of the argument when we getting into our bag. Now we done sit back and we done let your ass rat and rave for 10 minutes straight, uninterrupted. Let you go. Get all your points out, all that good shit, all your grievances. Then when it's our turn and we get to getting in that ass and get to contradicting what you're saying and voiding our points and coming up with reasonable explanations, now all of a sudden tears want to run out. All of a sudden. Your ass was not crying when you was standing up grandstanding, hands moving, head rolling, all that other shit. It wasn't no tears in your eyes then. So we need that same energy when we getting dead on your ass in the rebuttal, right? If we gonna communicate, communication goes both ways. We say that all the time. So it's not fair that y'all get to communicate, get y'all shit off, and then when we try to get our shit off, we get tasked with fixing you crying.
I'm trying to learn from B. Taylor. I
like my dad say, he was like, if the hand looking like they working a sock puppet, it's like,
when you start yelling, yelling and he yells back, it's like, oh, why are you yelling at me? After I'm just like, no, and then he yelled back. It's like, oh my God, why are you yelling?
I need to start working on that. I think
it usually starts happening when you're losing the argument. That's what happens.
It's a momentum changer. That's what they do. I want to say to the fellas, basically, like when you address that tone and delivery argument, and she said, "What's wrong?" I give her a choice. Do you want the truth or the honest truth? Now, what comes from that shit is your choice, and I consider your feelings. Now, you want the sarcastic savage, or you want the civilized saboteur? What do you want? What's coming out?
Saboteur.
Real story. I had a friend that dated somebody years ago, and when they got into an argument, the guy would put a sign across his shirt and tape it on and says, "Don't F with me," and walk around the house. I kid you not, my friend would send me pictures, and that was the funniest thing to me. It was so petty, but I get it now. He was wearing that.
That's a warning. That's a warning. It's a warning.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, real quick, man. Let me pay some bills and then we're gonna summarize this thing and get on up out of here. I told y'all, man, we wasn't doing 4 hours. God damn it, I kept my word. I want my credit, and I'm not putting $1 in the jar. I told y'all, niggas.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. We're gonna get you to 4 hours one day.
It ain't gonna happen, my boy. Real quick, man. Will in the building with the 5-piece. Say shout out to the panel. Shout out to bro, man, for coming through, man. Booker Ronan back again. See, again, this is what I'm talking about. When I say the Crusaders are rich, Booker Ronan is one of those guys, and he's right here on stage. We appreciate you, guys.
We got money.
I'm telling you, boy.
We got money.
Shout out to that yam shirt, though. I see you, my boy. I see you with that yam shirt.
Don't need a belt.
Yeah. Bro say nice nasty might be cool, yet the quote-unquote civilized savage or the sarcastic saboteur work for me, depending on the conversation and targets involved. That's a fact. That is a fact. Sheldon Ward in the building with the 5-piece. Kayla F's with you, but you do not know the life of a black man. As a black man, I can say not a thing about being a black woman. So stop it. Kayla, you want to respond to that one?
All I'll say is that I never said I have all the answers, but to say I don't know anything about the life of a black man when I'm the only girl of all brothers and mostly male family members, and I only date black men, and I went to a black college. I know a little bit.
Well, there we have it. Doug Will back again with the 5-piece. Talk to you like a woman, not a man. I thought we were equals.
We're not equals.
What?
Ladies, do y'all want to respond to that?
Who said we was equals?
Who said we were
I
equals?
said I wanted equity. I ain't say nothing about equality.
So I can answer that. I can
Work
answer
on this,
that.
fella.
I can answer that with a contradiction because men want to be treated as men, not as women. So isn't that the same thing?
Thank you.
Well, you gotta. No, you can't. You saying so because men want to be treated as men. That's equal to men and women are equal. Is that what you're saying?
We're not equal. We're not equal.
Okay. I'm for you. Okay.
But we have to
I want to be
acknowledge.
treated as a woman.
But see
We
that
have equal
that's the
value
thing.
in a relationship, but we're not equals.
Exactly. Yep.
What'd you say, Drew?
No, I was gonna say that's because again we have to acknowledge the like movement, the women's empowerment movement. Like women are striving for equality.
Pay. We want to get treated and pay and jobs, opportunity to take care of our families and ourselves as well, and that we can buy a car like a man can buy a car. We can buy a house, and without a man having to sign off on it. That's what we talk about as equal.
Yeah.
You can't buy a house if you want. If you got enough money to pay for the house, the bank don't care if you got a male or female.
Women back in the day were not allowed to buy a house or a home,
Okay.
home without a man.
Before.
But you can now, right?
Not now.
And now because of the movement.
What you was about to say, Queen?
You really can't use that as an example because I think we've all strived for like equality, like women's rights, black rights. You know, it's a lot that we can throw in the pot.
Sure.
I'll pause.
No. Sure, you're 1,000% right. But the difference is we are striving in terms of gender equality. So we got to stay in that alleyway, and right. And what that means is that women are striving to be treated as equal to men. And there are some women out here, and again, it's like my boy Ricky always says, it's never the women on this panel. We ain't talking about y'all. It's never y'all, right? But there are a lot of women that are striving to be considered equals to men, and not only from a finance perspective. I'm talking about leaders in their relationships. I'm talking about all type of shit. Like respect me. Like I'm in this motherfucker. Like, you literally got women in the corporate office that like walk around and like talk like they men. Like all of that. Like move like they men. They want to be treated equally. So with that being the case, I think that's what this
Maybe respected equally.
It's called plastic nuts disorder.
Yeah, but see again, I don't necessarily think it's a respect thing. I think like we respect y'all for sure, but we are not equals.
I think there is extremes to everything. There is extremes to everything. Like if I see a man, being busy with his hands, why am I not gonna open the door for him? That's treating him like the same way as he would treat me because I am a lady, right? Like he's doing something and I can do something for him. If he's, I don't know, like if I could be in return the same thing that he does for me, I don't expect to be treated as a woman just when it's convenient for me. And that's different because some women want to be treated like women when it's convenient, but then when it's not, they want the their rights and all that stuff. So I think it's extremes to everything.
I would agree. Real quick, honest citizen in the building. We appreciate you. Says tone is important for relationships, but prioritizing tone is not effective to filter and process facts in a world that does not owe you kindness. I would agree. I would definitely agree with that. Sheldon Ward back again says the example B. Taylor gave is women on their. Oh Lord.
Oh wow.
Oh boy, gotta relax, man. Jesus
Oh man.
Really?
Real spit. Who speaks the harshest to who, in terms of I guess men and women? I would say women definitely speak harsher to men than men speak to women. Would y'all agree with that?
I agree because men hold back on what they say.
But women they're so curt with their words. The way that we do our words is just different.
Well said. Money 1322. Imagine if a QB changes the way he says the play.
You just used an example.
Well, I mean, we can't necessarily. And again, I would let you get that off, right? Normally, I would, but if you know anything about football, in a no huddle situation, we ain't even saying the plays, baby. It's all hand motions. It's all hand motions. So at the end of the day, again, versatility depending upon the environment that you're in. If I'm in a stadium that's loud as fuck and I can't hear within 2 feet of me, we're going to have to transition to hand signals. Why? Because I have a mission that I want to get accomplished by any fucking means necessary. Doesn't matter how I'm used to communicating. It matters what's going to be the most effective under these current conditions. So that's the only pushback that I got to give you on that one, G. Real Elise in the building with the 20 piece, man. We appreciate you. For sure. Coming through, man. Elise always show love. Say a lack of respect and manipulation. Self-pity. Logic, welcome to the stage, G. What you on?
Just on the YouTube talking about nuts and babies. You know I mean, I don't know. They can say everything. Hey, that's the true purpose of a relationship: nuts and babies. And people get mad at me for saying nuts and babies. Y'all, these Christians don't even understand it. God said in the Bible, "Be fruitful and multiply." So, in other words, He said, "Get a whole lot of nuts and make babies."
That boy coming in here on bullshit.
No,
early.
I didn't disrespect women like that.
Early. I do want to get your take on this communication piece, though, Logic. In terms of like, what does the ball get dropped in this shit typically? In terms of communication, because me personally, I feel like that's the biggest divide in terms of relationships thriving the way they need to. But if you had to pick a spot where the ball gets dropped mostly, what would you say in terms of communication?
I think it's a communication problem overall, but I think it's a purpose problem first. Like I think ideally our relationships is no true purpose. So now when there's no true purpose, men naturally don't have plans. And when men naturally don't have plans, it's like at a job, what make a job more effective is that you have rules, you got a plan, you know, things is already put out there. So like your communication on that job will be more focused. And then, like I said, that's the biggest thing. So like if you put it like this, if you look at it to where the point is that our relationship, we dropped the ball in communication because we're communicating over bullshit. You know what I'm saying? We're getting mad over bullshit. We're talking over bullshit. You know what I'm saying? All these, I mean, I don't know. I just think it's just bad out here. You know what I'm saying? Even on these panels. You know what I'm saying? We can't even have normal conversations. You know what I'm saying? Just think about the panels that we do on these networks. And where you think about the concepts of a conversation, it consists of a series of questions, answers, and statements. But you look at these panels a lot of time, you'll ask somebody a question, and besides them giving you an answer, what you gonna get?
Negative narratives.
You're gonna get another question, or you're gonna give a statement. You know what I'm saying? So I think it just break down all across the board that, like, I don't know. And then I think earlier y'all was talking about tone and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know me and Ricky get a whole lot of hate for our tone. But I mean, what kind of tone do you expect from a man?
Huh?
I said, what kind of tone do you expect from a man?
There's plenty of men, even on the panel right now, that are able to effectively communicate and don't have the issue with tone. I think a lot of people having an issue with you guys having tone maybe mean that it's your tone.
Whatever tone best gets your point across.
Never hurts to be an asshole with principles.
You know,
but does my tone change my message?
No.
It can change the reception of the message changes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only if you have selective hearing and then you don't have effective parameters in conversations.
Like, because it depends on who you're talking to. Like, you could talk to another man and they exactly 100 grand with you and know exactly what you're talking about. You talk to somebody who's not used to it, they're focusing on what emotion are you trying to portray behind the tone. That's what they're trying to, they analyzing that. It ain't got nothing to do with what you're saying, it's what they think you're not saying.
Yeah.
But do you see men talking aggressive to feminine females? Or do you see men talking aggressive to masculine females?
Men shouldn't be talking to women aggressive at all because you're a man.
Well, and I'm with you with that concept, but just still think of it, right? Is men talking
What's a
about
masculine female? I'm lost.
say that again?
I knew that was coming up.
What's a masculine female?
What's a
Because
masculine female?
from a traditional sense, if we talking about a feminine woman, first of all, I shouldn't be in the workforce. So let's start there.
Masculine
I mean,
female.
we're gonna go up. I mean, I'm saying the moment I enter into the workforce, I become masculine. Anytime I'm placed in a position, I have to take on the role of providing.
Well, hold on. No, you
she-
can
Hold
be.
on, no, let me finish. Let me
I'm
finish.
sorry. Go ahead,
I'm
Sheen.
saying if we are
Sorry,
really going to stick to the blueprint of a Proverbs 31 woman,
Mhm.
we got to hold true. We can't take bits and pieces to fit a narrative or to push an agenda. I'm not agreeing, I'm not disagreeing, but I'm saying for people that are tuned in, you have to be responsible with the message that you are sending. So what is a masculine female compared to a feminine female?
Well, see,
Like you were saying, let me just say something. Let me finish my point, Logic, real quick.
myself. Look, my name is Mr. Logic, and I think women should not be in the workforce.
Okay.
Because ideally, I think that by you being in the workforce, by you being a boss, you're taking on these masculine roles, and then women are not light switches. You can't cut it on and off. If you do it 9 to 5, that means you spend most of your day actually being masculine, and I expect you to come home and cut that light switch off and be submissive. It's no way. So I'm in total agreement with you on that point 100%, that y'all get most of these traits that we consider masculine traits, y'all get them from reality.
Yeah, I just feel like there's a difference between being like independent and self-sufficient. And self-sufficient women can be feminine. If you're trying to provide for yourself, feed yourself, clothe yourself, you can do that in a feminine frame all day. There's difference between that. I think that's where it gets all convoluted. Like I've always liked self-sufficient women. I don't necessarily rock that well with women who have an independent mind state, because independence means you apart. Yeah. Self-sufficient means you can maintain yourself until you've joined in a relationship or and you've gotten together with somebody under whatever parameters you guys set, whether the man is the breadwinner, he leading, or you got a interdependent relationship, whatever. But I'm a proponent of people being self-sufficient, because I don't want you just sitting at your mama house doing nothing, waiting for me to come and find you and scoop you up and take care of you for the rest of your life. That's not attractive to me. I want somebody who can get out there, who if the situation happened that it whatever reason you need to jump back in there and contribute for however long it is, it's still a possibility. But see, that doesn't make you doesn't make you masculine. That just makes you a partner.
You sit in a mixed message, because self-sufficient is independent.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Women can feed and clothe themselves without feeling like they don't need no man.
No. But now you remixing that I'm an independent woman. But being self-sufficient is being independent.
No.
Yes.
They're two different things, my brother.
I wonder, how can you be self-sufficient and not independent? Independent, you depends on no one.
It's a mind state. Self-sufficient means you have the capability of maintaining your own shit. Independent means you feel like you are supposed to be maintaining your own shit and you don't need nobody else. That the one is the ability to do it. One is the expectation. That's what you're going to do.
But they really are the same.
They are not the same.
All right. I'm an independent woman. I'm a self-sufficient woman.
I just don't know many men that want women that are bums. I don't really see like a whole lot of men that are like, because most men don't really have it like that. We know the statistics. We know, most men are making average money. So it would be a big strain for you to be a bum.
Don't get me wrong. I don't want a woman that where I'm old school too. I feel like I need to pay all the bills and I need to do that. But I'm just saying, but I want you doing something until we meet. I don't want you just sitting back, just like waiting for some dude to come scoop you up. I want you maintaining a life, starting something, doing something with yourself.
But what if a woman, I mean, y'all saying like women should just not work. I mean, I think every woman I wouldn't say bum. But there are women, I think, if you're going to stay at home and not work, there's something always that you should do for yourself. We're not just, I mean, I feel like we were put here for a purpose. Everybody has gifts and talents. Like if I'm a great writer, why am I not using that to use to, you know, that's what I love to do. Like you want a miserable wife at home who's like not doing what she love and like.
Yeah, I didn't say that you shouldn't be working. I didn't see that if you got something like that you're good at.
Mr. Logic.
Okay. Okay.
You saying what are you supposed to do?
I mean, no, I'm saying, like, do you want her to be at home and miserable and not doing things that she also loves? Like, if she's a great writer and she wants to write books and do that on her own time, or no, is she dedicated to just pleasing you and taking care of the kids in the home? Like, you're going to have a wife that's miserable. And if that's what you are okay with you being pleased and happy and having an unhappy wife drugged up on medication because she's not doing what she wants. Come on, let's be real here. A lot of housewives back in the day were on Quaaludes. So
yeah,
they
were. And I think that's also where like social clubs come from and where social climbing comes from, because that's what a lot of stay-at-home wives used to do. They used to like go to lunches, plan parties, do catty things with other women. They didn't have like passions like I want to crochet and sell baby blankets. I don't know, something, you know. What's up? Who's that? The book of
Ronan.
Ronan.
Well, I
no, I couldn't see it. It's cut off. Sorry.
Well, I remember my grandma. She was a housewife her entire life, but she learned how to like. Well, she was kind of like a nurse in a way, but she also liked baking, and she would do things like this, and she would try to sell it. She didn't have to get out of the house and do all these things, and she had like a lot of kids. You know, like she had to be in the house raising her kids and busy, because having 5-6 kids is not easy. So they're gonna keep you busy. So of course, if you don't have kids, you're gonna be like, okay, I need to find something to do, because that's part of our, you know, kind of nature as well, like being nurtured. And we have to keep something alive, right? Even if it's a plant, a dog, or whatever. That's why you say buy a dog and die alone. You will want to keep that dog alive until whatever. So because that's our role. Hey, you want plants. Some women buy plants, whatever. So that's how it is. And I think that you have to find something to do, not necessarily to bring money or something like that. It's more like to keep yourself busy, because as a human being, it's not healthy to just not do anything. If it's constructive, for like teaching, for example, teaching another kid how to read or things like that.
Book of Ronan, go ahead.
I don't want to do that.
Well, I want to answer Kayla's question. That goes back to your point, Trill, about effective communication. When you guys meet up, you start seeing where that person's at. What do they bring to the conversation? Like, what skills do they have? What where their strengths and weaknesses at? That way you have that foundation to build on that. That way people know how to move in the parameters, not just, well, here we are, we smashing and doing whatever. We've been doing that freelancer stuff for a while, and this hasn't worked. So some people have to respect the strengths. Okay, cool. We know how to utilize each other. He applies that leadership and see if she's able to have that effective communication that we build from there.
Mm-hmm.
No assumptions.
Yeah.
B. Taylor, go ahead.
Oh, no, it's fine.
Okay.
I just want to, like, somebody in the chat had said that we should get the definition of self-sufficient and independent. So self-sufficient, it means needing no outside help and satisfying one's basic needs, especially when it regards to production of food. So it's just a woman who can maintain their basic needs. And independent, let me pull that up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Almost similar to independence, right?
No. Watch it. You'll see it. You'll see it.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm on cruise season. I got my cruise season hat, so I'm trying to be nice.
No, hey, fuck all that nice shit. Go ahead and get it off. You gotta get it off.
I'm looking at the definitions on my computer right now, and he's
say independent meaning free from outside control, not depending on another's authority. That's different from being able to maintain your basic needs and not wanting to be under somebody else's authority.
That's why I hate black people, man. Did you see, bruh? Look, just say it.
They sound different to me.
Okay, well, we know it's gonna sound different to you because if it don't look, don't start with me, Kayla. Just let the man talk.
I wasn't talking to you.
Okay,
sir.
well, I'm talking to him. We need that input. But the thing is, it's the same thing, player.
It is.
But you know what? To fit your narrative, we'll go with it. And look,
I'm not Mr. Webster. I didn't make this stuff up. You know, my last name is not Webster. It's just like I didn't come up with the definition. One says to be able to feed yourself. The other said is you under nobody's authority. That's different.
Okay, we got it. All right,
is it the same? Is it the same? I'm thinking. I see a lot of head shaking, and let's ask the chat. Is that the same thing? Just being able to basically feed and take clothe yourself, or not being under anybody's authority?
I thought that was part of being an adult, but okay.
Hey, matter of fact, Trill, what does that say under similar? I love black
That's not
people,
the definition. That is not the definition. There are two different things. Like, I mean, a cake and a pie are desserts. They're similar, but they're not the same.
So which one would you go for?
Like if we're talking about a cake or a pie, we're talking about independent self-sufficient. I don't like pie. I like cake.
All right. So it comes down to preference.
They smell blood in the water.
Like I said.
I do just think, like, what is it that you are doing before you get married? Like, I don't understand why y'all have a problem with people. Like, I feel like it's important, and like that's the best time for you to live your life on your own terms in terms of what you want to do, but that you're passionate about, whatever, before you get married, because then everything becomes about the marriage, or at least going from a house, and like there's no self-time. I don't know. I feel like going from a household that I came from, which is I don't run shit around here, and I am lucky to live here for free. So it's not about me or what I want or how I want to explore different things that are outside of my family's religious beliefs or anything. I have to align with this. This is my house, and people, if you live here, you follow by my rules. Then when you're in marriage, you have to compromise. Everything is compromise of what you really want. So I feel like that period, between 18, 24, like it's for you to work and like try different things that you like to do and you're passionate about, whatever, and like enjoy that time, because then you're going to be somebody's mom, and then you're going to be somebody's grandma, and then you're always going to have my mom, everything she was doing is always for other people.
Never for herself, never being.
So I feel like that time to like work on whatever you're passionate about, whatever you want to do, but and that make money so that you can feed yourself, is great. But I think the difference in the self-sufficient, what he's saying, and the independence is that when you're self-sufficient, you're doing it for the intern, you know what I mean? And you're just enjoying it, versus when you're independent, you're striving to excel to a certain like level. So when you're self-sufficient, I feel like you'll have an easier time like putting down whatever it is that you were doing. You'll just put it down. Versus like if you've invested a lot into like this independent kind of lifestyle that you're going for, you put all these years into law school and you've done all this, and then you get there and then you just give it up. That's more difficult, I think, for a lot of people.
And to your topic, this is the problem with communication. when we literally just saw the definitions and people still trying to remix English. They still try to,
I'm giving my opinion.
Baby, you saw how I let you go and I ain't interrupted you. But you saw how we actually put up the definitions, right? And then people will still pull out the turntables and shit, let me put on my headsets.
Oh man.
Hey, we remixing today.
Hey.
To me, independence means that you're trying to escape from something, right? You're trying to get released or gather your own freedom from a certain situation or position, and seeing how self-sufficient is a similarity thereof. It's kind of the same thing.
I don't know. Like
I got a
just-
question.
go
Let's
ahead.
hear it.
Question is that because again, this isn't the first time that I've been on panels with men that have like a issue with men working, right? Like I mean with women working, have an issue with their woman working. And I was reading something the other day, and they was talking about it's because like men fear not being needed by that woman. So I want to get y'all take on that. Do y'all feel like it's more of men fear not being needed by their woman if she goes out and chases her career, or is it more of a just nuisance in terms of the personality traits that she acquires along the way?
Yeah,
I don't.
men have been programmed to think that, I mean, women do need men. I'm not going to say we don't need men, but I think that it's been instilled in men that you need to be a provider. But nowadays, women are providing for themselves. So now they're kind of like, well, I was told growing up that y'all wanted a provider, but y'all providing for yourselves. Y'all buying y'all own house now. Y'all buying everything. Like, where am I needed? And men were programmed to feel like, want to feel needed by a woman, and women are not creating a safe space for men to feel needed. I was on a panel the other day, and this woman was basically telling this guy, the guy asked, is it a different feeling when a man buy you a designer bag than you buying it? And the older women on the panel was like, it don't make a difference because I can buy it myself. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, no, I was the only one that said, I would be jumping for joy. My man has bought me a designer purse, and I was, oh my God, babe, like I'm making him feel like the best man ever. And I kept getting gifts because I'm gonna make him feel for giving me things. Could I go buy it myself? Sure, but it's a big difference when somebody else do it for you. And men do need that. That is part of your femininity, is making a man feel needed. When he goes and take you to the vacation and you already been there, don't say, oh, I already been there before. No, act like you ain't never been there before. Be excited about it. Thankful, like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Show me something new. I'm learning. Like that's part of your femininity.
That's gay.
I think it's the
That's
exact
nasty.
opposite, Trill. I think what it is men are afraid of women when with the women going and back in the workforce. A lot of men are afraid that the woman won't be available for their needs. Like if they want to, they need to, like that dinner, they need that attention. Like somebody said, men need to be touched. If they need sex, whatever. They the fear is that you won't make yourself available for me.
That makes sense.
I'm not going to eat you.
I think that also, I think even on my show before this, we talked about that a lot of men feel like their ultimate value is in their ability to provide. And they feel like used, and they feel like that is kind of their one thing that they kind of do. And I think that is pushed. So I think that like character development isn't pushed because it's just pushed for men to be providers. So in terms of like, it's more pushed on women to be likable, to have a person, not to be funny, to have a personality, to have personality. That's what's taught to women, but men aren't really taught that. So if we take away the men's ability to provide, it's kind of like a lot of men are not that interesting, not that, a lot of men have not developed character-wise other value outside of their ability to provide. So you can't provide for yourself, because then what do you need me for when you have more fun hanging out with your friends and like, you know what I'm saying? Like people be in these kind of relationships where people just fill roles. They're not really friends. They're not really connected, So I think it could be that too. And I do think that is something that I've seen change in younger men and their young boys. So that's great.
I want to know what the rest of the fellas think.
Well, sure. I don't think it's like it's not a need. I take care of you because I want to. You know what I'm saying? Like if we being honest, like a man I just think it's weird that a man, why would you marry a woman you don't want to take care of?
Yeah, it's true.
And like, why would you marry a man like get into a union, be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I'm independent. I need that. What? That's weird. That's just weird to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's about needing. It's about wanting to be there for somebody and being appreciated. right? And a person seeing a value in that, like, and shout out to Kayla, right? You gotta have something along with that too, though.
There's a look.
Right? You gotta have something along with that too, because that's what we was talking about on King Talk the other day, right? If all you is a wallet, that's all she gonna see you as.
Yeah.
Make me laugh, god damn it.
But see, this is what, okay, so now the whole YouTube talking point said that, you know what I'm saying, the average black man make how much?
43,000.
Like 40 to 50K.
Conversation.
2,000.
No,
it's like 40 to 50.
I thought it was 52,000.
No. Okay. Right, whatever it is.
43.
So it's broke then. Put it like that.
Allegedly.
So now, but how is we even have this conversation when, you know what I'm saying? How, I mean, men lean with their wallet and what? In America? In the black community? You know what I'm saying? Is that what we saying now? It's not
Okay.
possible.
Say that question again so I can make sure I'm following.
Okay, so now they were saying that, you know what I'm saying, men lead with their wallet, they don't got no personality. But then the whole YouTube talking points, we say that most of black men are broke, right?
Yeah.
So how's they leading with their wallet?
Because they spend money they don't have. I've seen
They fronting, exactly.
I've seen a guy spend his rent money
Mm-hmm.
and leave crying in the strip club. Mm-hmm.
That's another conversation.
Well, I'm just saying, people have, you know, people make bad choices. People have credit cards, loans, like people be, you know.
All right, so my point I was going into is that it's still gonna go back to purpose. You know what I'm saying? The reason that everything is jacked up is because women don't understand their purpose and men don't understand their purpose. So like, ideally, if we don't understand our purpose, then all this other stuff gonna fall in the line. And I mean, and you can talk around it. We talk around all the surrounding issues, but everything gonna always go back to the foundation of purpose. What is the purpose of a man? What is the purpose of a woman? Are we living up to that purpose? And if not, we just gonna be doing the same thing over and over again.
But there's so many things out there that's perverting that purpose. It's like, or making it to where that purpose is not easily identifiable.
Mhm.
Like, you know, social media is one of the main factors that's perverting the purpose of men and women. And I said this on your show last time. It was like, you get a woman who's, you know, who would normally like date the men that's local to her and what have you, and be happy with life. Like she's in the middle of like, you know, Minnesota somewhere, and she would have been happy marrying the dude who managed the tire shop. But then she posts a picture on social media, and a German billionaire is now saying, I'm gonna fly you out. I'm gonna spend this money on you. So it raises her expectations of what type of men she should be with. So what it does, it just makes her think that tire shop owner, that manager, he ain't good enough because German billionaires is flying me out, or Saudi princes is flying me out. So if you ain't on that level, I can't fuck with you. And then what that does is everything Kayla say, they take loans out, they buy stuff they can't afford, they go into debt, they put it on social media and what have you, and they try to portray the trappings of success instead of being successful, and then it brings them down. And
I'm gonna jump in real quick. I think I'm gonna have to disagree, because I think those standards have been in place for a long time. We talked about, I can't remember if it was B. Taylor's platform or if it was this platform last week. And somehow we got on the topic of arranged marriages, right?
Yeah.
And we talked about there used to be a community involvement from a family perspective, where the man, the father, would take the lead in vetting out the eligible suitors. You had to have enough property. Your family had to be of royalty in order to get a look at his daughter. You weren't the only one. There would be a line, and then they would choose the best one. And then you would shower them with gifts. Speed up to today, 2022. What's happened is the woman no longer has that protection. So she seems like the bad guy, because she's saying, you got to come with a job. You got to at least be making this. You got to at least fly me out to Dubai. You got to at least take me out on a date night, 2 times a month. And the woman has become the bad guy in a system that was built by men.
But see, today,
you agreed with, you basically agreed with what I said, that the system had, like, society has changed to where a woman's sense of entitlement or what they should be getting has been significantly raised from what it was because of those outside factors, which is mainly dudes from Dubai giving them $50,000 just to go to on a takeover for the weekend.
It was based on a concept that we understood tribes. Right now in 2022, through social media, you have access to everybody tribe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We used to live in a society where our tribe was our reality. Like I said, if you want to know what man that was available for you, you go outside and look at your door. But now we got women that's shooting DMs to Michael B. Jordan when he broke up with a chick. We had one on our panel. You know what I'm saying?
It's vice versa. It's these rich men.
He was single again.
No. Wait. See that because what I'm saying overall is access to social media give you access to other people's tribes. If it wasn't access out of other people's tribe, most of these black chicks wouldn't know what a Birkin bag was. Let's keep it real.
Well, that's because black men are dipping. So if that's the case, if a woman that you declare shouldn't even know what this is, that's because a man from a higher tribe has exposed her to that.
No, he didn't, because he did not take her to the Birkin bag shop. You know where she get it from? Because access through social media.
You look at other people with Birkin bags.
You get access. Well, hold on. Let me finish. You get access to everybody's tribe. You can right now go to Lil Baby page and see what he get his girlfriend. Right now, you can see what he get on his shopping spree. You can find out all kind of stuff, and you accessing that through social media. When you get to that point, you literally get women becoming unrealistic, that they living in the projects. And they
thinking that's what they deserve.
And they saying Pookie and Ray Ray and Box Chevys on 22s, but they said, I want a man with a Bentley that makes 6 figures.
Why can't they want better for themselves instead of going for a
No, there's a difference between wanting and expecting that you deserve, feeling like you deserve that.
I think they broke the code. I think they figured out, whoa, it's not even like a level of like hierarchy. If I seduce him, now I figured out. All I got to do is seduce him sexually, and I'm in.
Look at the city girl.
You're not in. You're then in for a quick season, and you may get something out of it, but it's not going to be no long-term situation at all.
But exactly.
But you're not, though. It's an illusion. Because, see, if you get access to the man, guess what you are? You just a nut. Just keep it funky. You're a nut. You know what I'm saying? But if you're in this tribe, he sees you constantly, you're around him frequently, then that's different. But as said, you in the projects, and then, you know what I'm saying, and then this guy, you know what I'm saying, wherever he's at, just because you got access to him, that means he got easy access to the box, because that's all he really want. It's a sexual opportunity.
Access and opportunity. Look at the city girls. They came from Miami. They was like, they was party
Please
girls
look at the city girls.
Way up the hierarchy, and look at them. Now they have all this money and access to even richer men.
But that's different, baby. They made music. I see if the city girls was the hood rats in the projects and married Lil Uzi. But no, they was the hood rats in the projects, became successful, got access to a different tribe, and then got with Lil Uzi. They didn't do it the other way around.
But they was messing with men that had money as they were working their way.
Yeah,
up.
Miami always, even if they were men that had money in the streets, they always mess with men with money in some way or somehow.
And then where leave Young Miami now?
Okay, hold on.
Mama. Well, her first. What I'm just saying. Let's be real.
She don't seem like she's upset about it, so I'm not gonna be. But it seems no, for real. I watch her. She's Carisha, please, okay. But what I do see the difference is like when men married before, it was more about that status, and that still exists in some communities in terms of like whose daughter you're marrying or whatever the case may be, in terms of you trying to become a duke or you trying to work your way wherever it is. But now I think the standard is less about that, and it's about attraction. That's what it is now. Certain levels of attraction give you access to just certain levels of men, and that's
I'm gonna have to push back on that, Caleb. Men back in the day didn't marry for status; they married for duty,
and children.
And women married for status.
Women
men married for duty. Like if it was an expectation, like say for example, if your tribe wanted to merge with another tribe, they take the most eligible man in that tribe, they would marry it, and the man would be doing it as duty, and most times it would elevate the other tribe to the same level as the first tribe.
Yeah,
So
but it happened vice versa often as well, where it was the daughter of somebody, and that tribe wanted to get.
But the men had the authority and the position, so it's not, you can't elevate. If you marry a woman, doesn't elevate you into the position.
It can change the allies, just like Queen Elizabeth didn't marry. She always talked about having suitors. She always had countries that wanted to be united with England that would try to propose to her. Right, but
her status was higher than everybody else, so she didn't want to date down.
But still, and so marrying her would give you status. Period. It would help the whole entire country to be aligned.
But she wasn't going to give that status to anybody that was below her. I think that's the point that he's making.
Say that again.
But they wanted her to. Though,
she would.
Like
I mean, yeah, of course, yeah, they want that status, but she wasn't going to give that status to anybody that was below her. She was only going to go for somebody that could offer her more status, but nobody could because she had the most.
And if you looking at the common denominator right now of all y'all arguments, right? Logic with the tribe, Kayla with status, everybody, right? Again, the thing that's been removed out is the requirement of marriage.
I agree, Rick, because you talk about the purpose. Like, too many people are worrying about what the hell everyone else is doing. Like, when we're here, what are we establishing on our own? Yeah. We're getting tripped up because we worry about what everybody's running their race. We don't take into account of what they do or what they have to do to maintain that image or that lifestyle they're maintaining. Because the one of them celebrities you look at, they ain't got everything you think they got. They're written and leasing.
I wanted to say that. Like, why do you always compare like to celebrities and all that? Like, why don't you look at your ancestors? Like, what did my dad had when he was 22? He had a house already. He owned a house. Yeah. Why don't you think like, you know, what my family had in the past when they were my age?
But that's what
they were accomplishments. Like, why do we compare to other people? But I get it. Social media has taught us like, you know, we have to look a certain way. We have to do a certain way. And then people think that, and I'm not saying women, everybody
poverty
deserve. We have to earn things.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta, like, I say this all the time. It don't matter what it looked like to the outside world. All that matters is what it looked like to you.
Right. Yep. Now,
you know what I'm saying? Hold on, Sarah. Right? Like I said, the thing is, you can't let society dictate how you move. You can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to understand it's a bunch of ants out here and then there's independent people, right? You got to move independent because that way you can see the forest for the trees. When y'all sitting up here, y'all use these examples like reality TV shows and social media and all these stars and stuff. That's the image they put out to cloud your judgment to keep you confused from doing the correct things. Yeah. Now, I'd rather be Dolo and fall on my face than ride out with everybody else and fall off a cliff.
Now, something I don't understand. Something I don't understand is that why men want to be seen or looked as providers, but when you look at them as providers and you try to see can they provide, they get offended. Oh, she's looking at me, or she just wants to know how much money I make.
She's a gold digger.
So it's like it's a I don't know. It's a confusion.
Only the dudes who faking the funk have that worry.
That's what I think it is. It's a confusion to me, and I'm saying because in my culture here, it's not modern women. It's also modern men that understand that they cannot fully provide for a household themselves. So they have to accept that a woman, or they need the woman's help to sustain the household together and work together. But people nowadays, they don't want to struggle together. Women want the man that has everything already and be there until he has everything, and they don't want to go through the entire process as it was before.
Yeah, because they don't want to be the come up woman, because
they don't want to be that. And I get it. I understand that because part of our nature is to want security, the security that a man is supposed to provide. But nowadays, we have to admit the majority, not you, nobody in this panel, of course, like most of the people can't provide. I'm just being Ricky right now.
And they shouldn't be. Then they shouldn't be dating.
No, but see,
And I get it. I totally understand that. But my problem is that if they want to be seen as providers, they want to be looked as leaders just because they were born a man. Not every man is a good leader. Not every man is a good man. And they want to be seen as. But in reality, when you look at them as, then they're like, oh, she's just looking at me for my money. You know, and to me, that's kind of like either you accept that you're not fully 100% a provider and you cannot afford to have a housewife, because if you have a housewife, you're going to be giving her a certain lifestyle that's probably less than what she already has. Just like Queen Elizabeth, as she was saying, I don't want to be with a man that is giving me less than what I already have, to be honest.
See, ma'am, that sound good, but the thing is, men can provide, but they can't provide based off of the standards that we put out here. The standards we put out here is extreme. Kids run around with Gucci flip-flops, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I keep saying the same old thing. Half of these people on the panel probably don't know what hand-me-downs is. And I'm guilty of it too. My kids don't know what hand-me-downs is. You know what I'm saying?
You know, that's true.
And then when I was coming up, you know what I'm saying? My mom had, we had 6 kids. Yeah, she had 6 kids. There was no such thing as leftovers. But now I throw food away like, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. So my whole point is that the people can't afford this lifestyle, or are our expectations too high? All this extra stuff y'all saying,
but
don't necessarily need it.
But the
Can I
problem
say
is,
something?
like,
It's a cultural thing. And I'm just going to separate it, United States with any other country in the world. And I'm saying because I was in another panel, and I kind of said that I go to the store and I don't let my daughter just say, I want this, I want this, I want this.
Mm-hmm.
No, like she has to understand when we can have it, we can have it. If we cannot have it, then we can't. And then the person said, so you don't buy your daughter a toy just because no, my daughter doesn't have a tablet.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't, like, actually she had a bike and it was stolen. And someone wanted like immediately say, why don't you get her another one? No, it was her responsibility to keep the bike inside the house. And she just left it like unattended.
But see, I'm gonna give an example though. Is Gucci shoes really deserved for kids?
Are they deserved for adults? You see what I'm saying? That's the part I'm saying.
What the whole thing is that the reason I said as for kids is because look, I'm a biggest, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about myself too. I get my son some Gucci shoes or something like that, and then he'll be out of them next year. You know what I'm saying? Well, if I get them for myself, I'm gonna got them for a lifetime. Because I ain't growing no more. So, but do he need that? We saying that we need all this money to provide for these kids, but is that necessarily true, or do we have unrealistic expectation for these kids? We force this on them, and our society and our environment insists in that. You know what I'm saying? Look at how much money we waste on Christmas. Look, and even the broke ones,
Yeah.
Look, wait the Easter Christmas.
We don't do that. Well, people have started to do like the gifts exchanges. We don't do that here. My family doesn't do that. And I don't want them to do that. Please, no. I don't want to spend
Christmas as a time to buy things when they're on sale. Actually wait to buy things.
It's mandatory.
Simply because they give discounts during that time. And so
no, as a salesperson, you don't get no
I'm telling you,
discount.
if you look at buying a car, the best time you can buy a car is at the end of the year, the end of the month, or the end of the change of the season. There are different reasons why things are negotiable. Everything in America is negotiable. All prices can change. And I think that I don't believe in, the gift giving part of it, but I do believe that if there is a sale, that you should take advantage of it versus buying them when it's regular price.
Since we brought that up, statistically, people are more depressed at the end of the year after Christmas because they are struggling financially.
Right. And the thing is this, right? Like, no one agrees with, like what Logic said. Everybody understands it, right? But people still continue to do it. You agree with the consumerism?
Oh, and everybody want to post pictures of their Christmas.
You see what I'm saying? Like how you crying about something that you yourself do yourself? You know what I'm saying? And look, and this is what I'm saying. It's your money, right? Let me be 100% transparent. It's your money. I ain't saying you spend your money. You spend your money how you want it. You work for it, right?
Hey, if you talk to me, Ricky, put a name on it.
I'm talking to everybody.
You talk to me, put a name on it. I'm gonna throw all my shoes away right now.
Mr. Logic, you ain't the only person out here that buy Gucci and Polo and all that stuff. I'm saying in general, right? What I'm saying is this: we can't sit up there and diagnose a problem and know it's a problem and not at our very least try to attempt to fix it within our own circle. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, your kids don't know what leftovers is. Like, make them eat leftovers, my guy.
We eat leftovers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Make them eat that.
No, I mean, is hold on. Let me say, is you want to make? Are you saying to make them look these leftovers?
Let me just clear up the purpose of leftover. It's for the people who say they can't afford to have kids. Kids are expensive. That's the whole concept I was meaning. Leftovers, not forcing them to eat leftovers. Like, ideally, we have food provided to take care of kids. That's all I'm saying. I'm sorry.
I see it, and sorry.
Well, the book of Romans has been up for like 30 minutes. Let him jump in.
That's all wrong.
It's not forcing kids to eat, like whatever. It's not forcing kids. It's show them appreciation. Like, you buy them. It's not that you don't have to buy more food, but for example, if you serve the food, it's not what they want to eat. You don't ask your kids, "What do you want to eat?" No, hey, I made this food, and this is what you're going to eat. And if you were not hungry at the time that you were supposed to eat, we're going to put it in the microwave and then you're going to eat it later. But you're going to eat it.
Well,
that's why it's here.
Well, this is what I'm going to say with everything there, and I hear what everyone's saying. But this is why you stop paying attention to what everyone else is doing. Because sometimes you have to break those generational curses your parents put you into first. You start worrying about what we're going to do for this legacy and make this stuff long. Of our children have financial literacy? Do they know their history? Are they able to move in this environment effectively? While all these broke motherfuckers out here showing everything they got, you got to move how the wealthy do. They don't wear their wealth. They look at the long term. But that's where the communication part. It's like a business. We do quarterly reports. We started doing annual reports. See where we at. We should be better than we were last month, last year, last decade. But no one's having those conversations. We're just talking around things and keeping up with Joneses. And all we have is debt, dandruff, and debt.
I'll tell y'all what, real quick though, because again, I understand what y'all saying in terms of saving money and in terms of making shit stretch, but what we not considering, and this is the thing about getting older and like being away from school for so long, you forget what the reaction is going to be if you pull up to that bitch in some cheap shoes. You forget what the reaction going to be if you pull up to that bitch in some jeans that'll rip if you move the wrong way, especially in this social media era. This is a totally different animal. But back then when we was in school, niggas getting roasted right at breakfast. So again, we got to think about your child's mental health. Yeah. Because I know niggas that used to get roasted, and that made them turn into the unproductive citizens of society that I see today. Right?
Bullying here is not bullying here is not as common because parents are really involved. I'm not saying it doesn't, but it's not common.
There. What are you talking about?
Here.
No, I know there is.
No, I got
bullied over there.
But like my pants were too. I didn't even know what flooding was, but apparently my pants.
To quote Leonardo DiCaprio from The Wolf of Wall Street, I've been, I ain't gonna say rich, but like I've been a comfortable man and a poor man, and there's no nobility in being poor. I'm sorry, I just not found it. I've been in the projects.
Let me caveat with Trill, right? Trill, you're right. Got bullied, messed around for having the shoes. But was it that one family that had like 7 kids that you say something, your face gonna get broke?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So now, where's the bullying that did? See, like I said, when we'll go back to it, we'll get around it, and it's gonna come back to the purpose.
No, wait. And let me stop you. Because again, if this was 40 years ago, you would have a point. But how many people do you see these days having 7 kids?
Oh, no. I'm saying You see, you went me.
Hell no.
Hey, Kayla had to say something before she swing out.
Yeah, because I'm about to run out or whatever. But all I will say just about this topic is that I do think that children are expensive if you want to provide them with the best opportunities. And I really think that that's what it is. My parents were able to provide me with some of the best opportunities, not just the superficial things, but everything else with like professional ballet company I was a part of that. I'm pretty sure it cost my mom like $1,500 a month for my lessons. So having the resources so that your kids can have a better chance, especially a leg up as being a Black kid, whether that's they're a great musician and there's certain camps, certain environments that, you know, whether it was a summer camp or whatever it is that they could go to that could propel them, but that costs money.
You do.
It all costs money, no matter what it is. So I think ultimately it shouldn't be about the shoes, it should be about the cars, it shouldn't be about that. It should be about the resources that you're able to provide your kid to help them, whatever their gifts and talents are, for them to achieve that and to have the best start, you know, at adult life. And so that's what I hope to provide my kids, and that's what was provided for me. So that's what I think. But I love y'all so much. I gotta run. Much love to everyone. Shout out to Chrissy.
Kayla.
So appreciate you pulling up.
She said she had the best thing provided, but she went to a historical Black college. I have to disagree.
No, don't do that.
Oh, damn.
Don't do that, man. Hey, shout out to all the HBCUs, man, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if they was okay, if they was good, I get them some props. I'm telling you, only thing that HBCUs got, I worked at one. There's just a whole lot of babies being popped out. Let's keep it funky.
But
I work at North Carolina A&T, and I then worked at the University of North Carolina. And then every time we came back for the next semester, I would be like, "Where my female students at?" They'd be like, "Mr. Ooh, I'm about to say my real name." They was
they gonna find you.
Okay.
Everybody know your name, nigga. Everybody know your name.
Literally. See, when I started speaking facts, and I was wondering, I was like, "Hold up." I'm looking at the students in University of North Carolina. The dudes spraying nut all over them, and it's like they're allergic to nut. They weren't getting pregnant, and then the same thing going on over here in historical Black college, but they're coming up pregnant. So I'm like this: why am I losing all my female students every semester? Hey, what happened to so and so? Oh, she got pregnant. She dropped out. Oh, where's so and so at? Oh, she having a baby. And I'm saying we don't like to be funky and just tell the truth. My daughter finna go to school. And I just say, you would not go to a historical Black college, because now I understand that environment you're going into. It's a party environment. And then now a lot of times when they have these party environments, they don't know how to balance the two. I don't know how some of these kids in these Dukes and UNCs, how they partying all night and they waking up and they focus. They be like, Mr. I'm about to say my name again. All right, let me see.
It's too late for you. Don't already said the school you work at, they just gonna pull up pictures and find you. It's too late.
He just said something bad about HBCUs. Let's get them.
All right, everybody. I gotta jump off. It's been a pleasure just kicking it with y'all tonight. I gotta let y'all go, man.
Don't be independent, brother. Hey,
I'm independent. I'm self-sufficient.
Take it easy. All right, bro. But yeah, on that note, man.
Good point though about communication. It's like you set those parameters, that foundation, where the kids go learn about adversity. And the worst thing we do as adults and parents, we prostitute our presence and our purpose. To deal with all the social nonsense. We want to be accepted so bad. And that's why we have these communications about what is your passion? What do you have going on? We can build on this as a collective, and who knows, we can have things for our children and teach them, to spread the wealth out there. But we're chasing that lie out there, and we're paying for it.
I would agree. I think that's a great point to close this thing out on. I told y'all I wasn't doing 4 hours, man.
I need 27 more minutes so I can get this dollar from Trill. I need 27 more minutes.
Yeah, I brought my dog Logic up here, and I knew in my head, because I was calculating that's gonna be an extra 45, because bro gonna get up here and start talking shit, and that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? But I'm on point. I told y'all niggas I'm not donating to that pot. We ain't doing
We
4 hours.
getting that dollar from you, Trill.
Hey,
Hell
look,
nah.
Trill, fuck that. I'll give you the dollar, man. Look, because B Taylor had some smoke for me early, and then everybody ran around it though. But I want to just say this, Trill, though. This is the thing. I'm passionate about it because I done seen a lot. I'd have been damn near every place in the world, and we are no blueprints. We sit here and try to change our reality without changing our environment.
Real shit.
And I'm just saying, like blindly, like I said, you know what? Like people look at me shady because I say I won't send my kids to a historical black college. But I'm telling you why I won't send my kids to a historical black college, because I don't want them to go to that environment. And then all the times I'm like this, I will not put my kids in an environment that I know that it will formulate their reality. Our kids spend more time away from us than they do with us. And then our women want to go out and work instead of taking that $20,000 per kid to homeschool for Donald Trump, the guy who you voted out of office. See, don't get me started with all this, because we're our worst enemies. They say all this stuff that's saying that people can't raise family. Do you know if you got 5 kids, you do not have to pay taxes? You will actually get a tax credit.
The question is, who wants to have 5 kids?
And that's the problem.
That's the problem.
If you look, wait, hold on. Because I know B Taylor got to say something, because she said, I ain't finna have no 5 kids. But this is what I'm saying, right? If we looking at the transfer of wealth from the people to the government, go from the 1800s, where the average family size was 7.34, to today, what is 1.4? No, 1. You know what? It's 1 something, right? And then as you see that decline, besides the baby boom after World War II, you start seeing more control by the government. The smaller your family size is,
The easier you are control.
the easier you are controlled. And now, families back then were true families. They established tribes within themselves. You don't need that influence of other kids. My daughter go to school, she find out about LGBT. And now, because it's so much part of her reality, I got to explain that shit to her. But guess what? If her daddy had 8 kids, she now have an internal tribe. So now she don't need these external things. So like I say, it's a deep conversation, but we'll go ahead and continue to talk about dick and pussy conversations.
No, real quick. I hear you. I'm following you, but I haven't heard anybody say how much their wives mean to them. I've heard everybody talk about their kids and income and this, but I haven't heard anybody say, but my wife, and because of her mental health, or because of this for my wife. And that's where I think we're gapped, because at what point do you sacrifice your wife to push your own agenda? Whether it's what you're saying is very good information, but at what point do you take your wife into consideration?
But the reason our wives are so messed up, I'm just saying, the reason our wives so messed up is because they have no true purpose. It's no true purpose. The reason they sit here popping Xanax and all that shit y'all was saying back in, and that was recently, they have no purpose. We can have all these marriage conversations when people don't understand the whole concept of marriage. And then half of these people be Christians, and then God say, you know what I'm saying, go out and be fruitful and multiply. How the hell he gonna say be fruitful and multiply, and you motherfuckers running around here with no kids or 1 kid?
Some people can't have kids though. Let's get into it.
Well,
That's extreme. That's extreme.
No, it's not extreme. Do you not know the infertility? Black women lose their infertility. No, I'm for real. Now I'm coming from a healthcare perspective, but they don't talk about it because it's deemed embarrassing. It's a stigma to not be able to produce and or have a man. It's real shit. But women will never tell you that because of conversations like this. Well, then you're not. No, that's a real thing in healthcare that I'm trying to solve for women, for Black women. It's real. No, it's real. And that's why women suffer in silence. And God bless her. So we had a beautiful Black queen that jumped off a building. They said Miss USA, Miss da-da-da-da. Women are suffering in silence. Y'all aren't asking questions. You're not probing. You're not checking on them. You're giving them this rhetoric, this recipe. This is how you are to perform. This is your duty as a woman. And you're sticking to that, not taking into consideration. This is a whole person. Black women lose their fertility. Their fertility start to decline after age 26. Now, if you want to talk history, that's because we were bred, because how we were bred in slavery. It's a scientific fact that Black women, fertility start to decline at age 26. Let me pause.
Well, I want to say, Queen Sheba, earlier, it's like we kind of mentioned that it goes back to that foundation. When you guys are vetting each other out, you got to have them unpopular conversations. Like if you're going to be in the trenches as a couple, y'all got to have them conversations.
I agree.
They might not be comfortable, but again, that's where we start learning that level of adversity. If we can sit there and hash it out in these uncomfortable times and in different situations, now I have that trust and leadership to move on to the next thing. And
but why we let her derail the conversation?
It's not derailing.
No, but
it's not derailing. It's just a different perspective.
No, it's not, because the thing is, if we're speaking on a problem, we're talking about the majority, not the minority. So if a minority of women,
that's a majority, sweetheart.
Oh, so you telling me a majority of women out here can't have kids?
Yes. Yes. I'm in the healthcare industry. So why can't you accept my numbers as an expert?
You gonna look me in my face right now?
I just told you that.
Tell me a majority of women.
No, I said African American women.
Okay, a majority of African women cannot have kids out here.
Their fertility.
I can't believe this shit. This is
you
crazy.
don't have to. You don't have to. It's out there.
They
you don't have to believe it.
Crazy. You nut on.
I'm not trying to convince you. I'm trying to educate you.
No, ma'am, that's not.
I did not say. Let me finish. I did not say. So you're not going to derail me. So let's back up. And I'm not being like serious. You know, I'm meeting you.
I mess with you, Queen.
I got you. I'm with you. You guys, there's a lot of stuff that goes on with women. If we're talking childbearing, fertility versus infertility, specifically Black women, we can go into breast cancer. We can go into heart disease. There's a lot of reasons that a lot of women are not successful. Okay. What about the women that do carry the children? And then you have the miscarriages with Black women. And then you also have the high mortality rate in African American, Texas being number one, where Black women die giving birth to children. We could go on and on and on. That's not the point. The point is you make good points. I make good points. Mm-hmm. My question is, this is the point. At what point do you pause to take into consideration the woman as an individual? Mm-hmm. That was my question.
Yeah, but I'm with that whole point. But what I'm saying, if we're talking about a majority situation, and you're going to sit here and you're going to tell us that, hey, a majority of Black women cannot birth kids. North Carolina A&T have to disagree with you, ma'am.
After a certain age, yes, you're seeing it in the 20s, but I told you after age 26, Black women, it is a medical fact, their fertility rate drastically declines. So yes, you're seeing them being very fertile, but probably 20, 21, 18, they're extremely fertile. I'm not arguing that. I'm saying past that age. Go ahead.
And you're talking to a medical professional. So just by the way, she's not just saying this off the cuff. She's actually in the field.
Well, the stat I'm looking up now says something different, but I go along with it because I ain't gonna derail it. And everybody know that Black women is having babies.
Yes, they are. Very young. Very young.
No, like I said.
So what should Black women be doing then if their fertility is in their younger ages? They shouldn't be out here having hot girl summers. Y'all should be dating with kids to get married.
I agree.
But they're not not mature enough.
But I think is that a subject? That's what I'm saying. That's a conversation you have with both Black men and Black women. She's not sleeping with herself.
But this is what I talked about, the communication. If you don't have the foundation, and she got to be a latchkey kid, or again, we're sitting there arguing semantics, literally, because we're worrying about the need to be right rather than the opportunities to get right.
Mm-hmm.
Both of us are dealing with mental health issues, all a slew of shit. That's why we had talked about the table talk. We got to hash this shit out, cook it, and make a meal and keep it pushing. Because we're at the fucking bottom. If people didn't know that,
right?
Don't matter if you got your bag, you got holes in it. We at the fucking bottom.
And I'm gonna keep it 100% the way 1,000 the way I feel about it. It's not my job to shame some unruly woman. That's not mine.
Vetting.
I'm just being honest. Like you say, what's the consideration for the woman? My wife, she's number one on my list. When I think of me, I think of her.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I think it would be nice to hear more of that in these conversations sometimes. That's all I'm saying for people that are tuning in, because I think when myself, any of us lean so far to the left or right, we miss the point of love and integration. And somebody, I can't remember who said it. It takes like a special formula communication for marriage, but talk about the positive side of that, what that looks like.
Like
These young black men need to hear that. These young black women need to hear that are tuning in.
That's what
the
we
positives.
We you come on over to King Talk on Tuesdays. You know what I'm saying? We
Okay, I got you.
Talk about how we take care and take care of what I went. But like I said, man, it's like it's not much. All I can do is say it and put it out there. How I'm gonna put it out there is up to you to pick it up. You know what I'm saying? The worst vice is advice.
Yeah. And with all due respect, Queen Sheba, it's like, hey, when you pray for rain, you gotta play for the mud too. So this is shit in the trenches. If we can hash this out, we can stop having ethnic outposts and we can actually have functioning communities.
Tell y'all what, y'all just gave me my next topic for next week. We gonna get into why women aren't in a rush to get married earlier, to get in committed relationships earlier.
Ready for
so, yeah.
Because
So again,
to her point though, Trill, what she made is, which I agree, that as they get older, their ability to produce kids decline. That's common sense. But then if women understand a purpose, why they not get married earlier? That means they don't even want to fulfill their purpose.
And that's the whole thing. We get, again, not just, we got to stop fighting our nature. Men need to stop fighting their masculine nature. They need to get into their man side. And women, y'all need to be ladies at all times. It doesn't matter the situations that arise. You being a strong woman don't mean you ignorant, you out here and you unruly. It just mean you handle your business as a woman when appropriate. You know what I'm saying? But you got to be a lady at all times. And I preach for men, be man at all times and be authentically you. That way no one can use you against you.
See, I go all night.
You can't cancel me because I am what I am. There's no canceling me. Anything you come and you bring up to me, I'm gonna smack you in your face with it because I already told you.
All right. I love it.
You know what I got to
I'm laughing at freaking Kenny over here. He's hilarious.
Kenny showed out.
But look here, man. You say I preach the streets. But yeah, man. On that note, man, we're gonna wrap this thing up, man. I appreciate all.
No, I need my dollar, Trill. 15 minutes. I need my dollar.
Ron and Anime, Saida, I appreciate y'all, man. Kayla.
With 15 minutes to spare, my boy. 15 minutes.
Come on, man. I'm a man on my word, G.
No, I need we gonna get that dollar.
Hey, Trill.
I
want to say this. This is an awesome platform. On the road to 250K is on the way.
Man,
and, just like with everybody here, it's like we gotta have these solid conversations because most of these people are talking about stupid shit, honestly. So
and implement in your daily life. Don't just talk about it, be about it.
Right.
What's the they talk about? Is it you talk about dick and pussy conversations?
No, across the board is stupid shit. But the thing is, as men and women, if your actions, words, and intent don't work in concert, it is all bullshit. That's just straight hardline facts.
I agree. This is probably the best conversation I had on the panel in a long time. I got a yeah, ain't no woman in here saying shut the fuck up, all that. Yeah, you know what? I got to give a shout out to the ladies on this panel. I actually had a conversation with ladies, and it ain't World War II up here. Besides Queen Sheba moving the field goal, telling us a majority of black women can't have babies. When you
I only moved it in the fourth quarter. We were down to the wire. We were down to the wire.
You didn't find any terrorists today?
Look, I ain't called nobody a terrorist. Look, I like this. I ain't called nobody a terrorist because you know why? Nobody on here act like a terrorist. Ain't no woman in here had no masculine energy. I salute y'all. Hey, thank you, Trill. You got a good crew.
It's love, bro. Always. You already know. And again, on that note, man, shout out to all the Crusaders in the building that pulled up, showed love, had the chat jumping, man. We appreciate y'all. We're going to be back at this thing again next Wednesday, 9:30. Brand new topic. You already know what the topic is if y'all been listening. We're going to get into why women don't get married at an earlier age in this era that we live in. It's going to be a hell of a conversation. I look forward to having everybody back. And, you know, we're going to keep this conversation going, man. So on that note, we out, man. Appreciate y'all.
Peace.